What happened?
It's really good. I haven't had this flavor in a while. Uh-oh, that looked real bad.
Oh, that one stinks. Doug, you're sabotaging my fucking refrigerator.
You want some of this instead, cherry limeade?
No, it's fine. I'm good. I'll suffer.
You like cherry limeade?
I do, but it's fine. I actually, honestly, my problem was that I didn't look and see what flavor it was.
Peach?
Yeah, peach mango green tea. So I got
Oh, boy.
I got a triple shot in the mouth there and wasn't expecting it. And that's when it's the worst.
It's not the first time.
It's true. Won't be the last.
Hi, friends. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to WeNeedWrestling. I'm DJ. That's Brett. Yes, Doug, I am drinking your Celsius that you left in my house.
If it's here for over 5 days.
That's correct. It's free game. Yeah. It's a good rule for the compound here at Soon to Be Named Network North.
3 days.
Whatever. It's been a while.
How
are you, pal? Let's get into that. Welcome to WeNeedWrestling. How are you, Brett?
Awesome, man.
Did I say your name twice? I probably did.
Yep, say it again.
Brett.
Bitch. No, dude, shit's great. Man. I'm not mad about anything in my life.
Okay, good.
And I'm still adjusting to that.
Do you want to be mad about stuff in your life?
No, it's just, it's a weird feeling.
Okay.
Like, I'm just not mad about anything. I'm off for 4 days. This is great. Wow, don't force that.
It's really not good.
Oh, it's not carbonated either?
I guess not, no.
It says it on... you guess not? You drinking it. You don't know if it's...
I'm drinking it.
You don't know if it's carbonated or not?
Oh, yeah, it says non-carb. Yeah, Doug, what are you doing?
Is he giving you energy juice?
What are you buying? It says zero juice. It contains zero juice on the back.
What is that?
Drink?
Is it drink?
It's just drink.
All right.
It's got 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Well, that's a lot.
This is a Celsius Live Fit. I don't fucking know. Zero sugar. Filtered water, citric acid, taurine, guarana seed extract, green tea extract, caffeine, sucralose, ascorbic acid, glucuronidine, vegetable juice. It says vegetable juice. Oh, for color. But they must de-juicify it then, just after you get the color, I guess. Ginger root extract, natural flavor, calcium.
Doug, how dare you set him up like this?
Pantothenate, niacinamide.
What is this, Wings on Wings?
Yeah, it is. That's true. I should stop you right. They're from Boca Raton, Florida. I should have known better.
Boca Raton?
They're going to go Boca Raton if their fucking juices still taste like this.
I know a lot of housewives drink Celsius.
Yeah.
My sister included.
That explains why Doug brought it to my house.
He's a housewife.
Because he's a housewife.
I'd like to see.
Harrison Butker's favorite kind of person, Doug is. Anyway.
Doug has been known to wear an apron.
That's true.
Hi, Doug.
He soaks his feet in that drawer under the oven.
You know, I almost bought a foot spa the other day.
Oh, yeah? That sounds delightful.
Soaking feet.
All right. Why
I should have.
We had the conversation about soaking on Wings on Wings.
Soaking and quaking.
Yeah, so.
No, man. Yeah, I'm good, dude. I'm
good.
Fucking awesome.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. Did some power washing today. Power washing the decks. Because we're waiting for stuff back from some clients, so I could be outside power washing.
You're just a power washing man.
I am the power washing man. It's fun. I like power washing.
It's nice and cool up here.
Yeah, it's nice.
As compared to where I live.
It was pretty hot the last couple of days, but it's nice up here right now. Hot. Yeah, it's been hot. Hot here in the Northeast. Crazy thunderstorms, but everything's all good.
Good, man.
We're all good. We're here ready to talk wrestling.
Yeah, dude.
We spent most of our night talking comics. This isn't a comic book podcast.
Yeah. Wow. Jesus. We haven't talked wrestling at all.
We haven't. Go listen to Long Box Heroes.
Yeah.
If you want your comics content.
Go listen to Todd and Joe.
They're
good eggs.
They are.
I like those men.
They are.
Good men.
Good men.
2 good men.
A few good men. But yeah, they talk some good comics, and I read Doom. You read Doom?
Yeah.
That was like the first time in a long time I've matched up with that kind of stuff. But anyway, go listen to Long Box Heroes.
So,
Heroes After
since
Dark.
I'm a novice in the comic game, I went and I didn't know that was coming out. But I saw their pull list that they post.
Because they're influencers.
Yes, they are comic influencers.
They are.
So when it did come out, I was like, oh shit. And then I read up on it. I was like, oh, it's a one-shot. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Ton of fun.
But
this isn't about comics.
This is a wrestling podcast.
I did categorize my comics this week. Yeah. And I logged my WCW number 8.
Good.
And that gave me a...
I like it.
I was like, I want all of them now.
That's... Out of all the things you bought, that's the one I'm the most jealous that I didn't see first. I would have snagged the shit out of that.
Do you want it?
No. You're good.
Sure?
No, you're good.
Read it?
Maybe I'll read it after you do it.
But need to read The Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix.
Yeah.
And, Jean Grey, though.
Yeah, but I've always wanted to try and find them, but they're expensive books. So that was you're gonna have. I've never even really seen them at cons and stuff. WCW books, but they're expensive online.
Yeah,
like lots of money. But I don't know if there's anything about potato salad in them or not.
Part of me wants to get those WWE comic books. Fuck, I gotta log the Nash comics I have.
Yeah, you do.
Too.
Yeah, you do.
Wow. Okay, doing that over the weekend.
There you go.
Have a busy weekend.
Weekend.
I have to log my Kevin Nash comic books.
The 3 Kevin Nash comic books you own.
There's 3 great comic books. Thank you. You're the best.
I think they were autographed or whatever.
No. We bought them with the intention if we ever go to a meet and greet to have him do that, to him be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's true.
But
they're certified. They're like some sort of special editions. They have the certificate in them. I'll have to look
at them.
Whatever.
All right.
Wrestling. That's wrestling, but let's talk actual wrestling. Let's get down to brass tacks. Down to business, if you will.
That's what I did.
We're good. I'm good. You're good. Let's talk. Is wrestling good?
Yeah, wrestling's good. Wrestling's pretty good.
So
wrestling's pretty good this week.
We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got Joshi out the wazoo this week.
Yes,
super fun watching all the Joshi that I watched this week. We got some other stuff. But first, I think we got news. You have 2 pieces of news. I have a piece of news, and then I'll Google the news.
2 pieces. I know this isn't normally our thing with this day in wrestling history.
Oh.
But it is important.
Ladle and warmth.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. But 25 years ago, Over the Edge, when Owen Hart died.
Oh, really?
25 years ago.
Thursday as we record? Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
How crazy is that?
That's crazy. 25 years.
Isn't that nuts?
Wow. Yeah, it makes sense. 99.
Where were you 25 years ago?
High school.
I was 9 turning 10.
A freshman in 99? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Might have been in 8th grade going in. I don't remember.
I was definitely
I wasn't watching. I didn't watch that pay-per-view. I watched wrestling, but I didn't watch that pay-per-view.
No, we didn't either. I remember it was funny, kids in school were like, I saw it happened.
Yeah.
And then, as I got older, I'm like, oh, they lied.
I was still...
That didn't...
me and my friends still so staunchly WCW that
yeah. Well, I remember the next night on Raw. I remember tuning in and they're like Owen Hart said. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. But back then buying pay-per-views, we only did the WCW ones when we could. So
yeah, my grandma would be a special. Every year we got SummerSlam.
Yeah,
because it was my birthday, around my birthday.
All right.
So every year she would get SummerSlam.
Okay.
And my friends would come over. Whatever, have a guy sleep over. Guys, why'd we stop?
I don't know.
Why'd we stop?
People can sleep over. I don't care.
Why'd we stop?
Speaking of SummerSlam, though.
Perfect transition.
Is that your other part of the news? Because that's my one piece of news.
That's my other part. They announced today in 2026.
Right. So it's a threat. It's not an announcement.
SummerSlam will be 2 nights from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A lot of people were like, well, this is them getting the consolation because it was rumored they were supposed to have Mania next year, but then they moved it to Vegas.
Oh.
So a lot of people were saying, well, this is
okay.
Sorry, we'll throw you a bone.
Does it need to be 2 nights?
No, it doesn't.
The argument could be made that WrestleMania doesn't need to be 2 nights. Although they have filled the cards out, and they do, for what it's worth, make the 2 nights seem special. I think you could still, with a discerning eye, cut the WrestleMania 2 nights into one really great fucking WrestleMania card every year.
You can. This year. This year couldn't have used it because there were 2 main events that needed to be main events.
But if anything needs to be 2 nights, it's Mania. If anything could be 2 nights, it's Mania, right? Mania is the biggest event they run.
I'll throw this at you because Mr. Sweet Ed, when this was getting discussed today.
Yes, I saw.
Said about the Rumble being 2 nights instead. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
While I understand that 2 Rumbles on one show is tough because that's 2 hours of content.
Minimum.
I disagree that he said that the women's has always been bad when the women's has at times been better.
I agree with you.
But so because the Rumble kicks off the road to WrestleMania, Is there enough content to make 2 nights of Rumble and split it? I don't mind the idea of having 2 Rumbles split, but I think that causes an even bigger issue because, like, because that means the women's Rumble or main event's one night and the men's main event's the other night. And if one of those sucks, but it's the linchpin of a single night, people are going to be bigger mad about it than having to sit through one shitty one.
I think the 2-1 needs to stay. Yeah. It needs to stay that way because...
I wouldn't move it to 2 nights.
What else are you going to do to flesh out the cards?
Right. That's the thing, too. Because it kicks off the road to WrestleMania, it's the beginning of the year. A lot of things, the way WWE runs their scheduling, a lot of things aren't... Not a lot of things are finishing at the Rumble. Things are starting at the Rumble. And I don't know that you're going to have 2 nights to fill. That's tough.
I mean, I guess unless you just do, like, the title matches instead, like, during... But it's kind of hard because it's like, okay, well, if you say, like, men's Rumble's night 2, well, somebody has a title match on night 1. Right. Can't they just seemingly get into the Rumble on night 2 to try to, Yeah. I think the way it is fine. Mm-hmm. I think so, too. I do fear that this is going to become a trend with the big shows.
Yeah, I think if so, I was talking to Michelle about this. Not wrestling related, but like I'll still roll it into an analogy, like a comparison, and see if it works. Right? If 2-night SummerSlam is successful, which it's going to be, they're going to look at the numbers because they're going to sell out both nights live. Right?
I don't know.
Oh, but if they do,
yeah.
They're going to go, well, this works. Why would we do this any other way? We're doubling the revenue, right? And I'll equate it to Netflix, and it may not be a perfect comparison, but let me bitch about Netflix anyway. When Netflix did the password sharing crackdown, we as consumers had the chance to kick them in the face and tell them it was a bad idea. Yep. By not signing up for fucking Netflix if you were sharing passwords.
Guess what we didn't do?
And instead what happened was everybody who was sharing a password, almost everybody, I don't have Netflix right now.
Me neither.
Everybody who was sharing Netflix signed up and their numbers like doubled or tripled. Yeah. And Netflix was like fucking awesome. So then Disney was like, well, we're doing that. And everybody now is going to start cracking down because it was successful for Netflix. Yeah. All you had to do was not have Netflix for like 2 fucking months.
That's it.
And Netflix would have said, well, this doesn't fucking work. We got to go back.
All you needed.
So if...
Watch YouTube instead.
Right. So if SummerSlam at 2 nights is successful, they're going to at least make the big 4 2 nights. Every one of the big 4 will become 2 nights.
So... I do agree. I think the big events will become 2 nights. So what do you categorize as the big 4 anymore, though?
Well, I mean, that we just said the Rumble, but the Rumble has to be.
Rumble. Right. SummerSlam, Mania. Do you consider Survivor Series a big 4 anymore?
No, but they could make it one.
They could. You know, like they do the 2 War Games matches every Survivor Series.
Right.
You know.
Split the brands, do the Raw War Games one night, do a SmackDown War Games the next, or actually do Survivor Series matches again. Something.
I am curious with, like, Triple H if they are going to go back to that.
I don't know.
You know, because, like, I know they're really pushing, like, King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Granted, I ain't going to watch the fucking finals, which sucks, but I'll read about it. But yeah, I do think, like,
it must be really nice to go to a private resort in a terrible country and be able to have all the freedoms you want in a country that literally kills and oppresses people for doing what you're doing in a private resort. Yeah. But that's for a different podcast.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I saw a picture today and I've never been more mad at Liv Morgan in my life. Okay. Get out of the way. Yeah. There's somebody else I wanted to see that was photographed in the picture.
But
what up, Pam?
Yeah.
Brother,
I didn't see that picture.
I'll never forget what they took from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Son of a
hold in your heart.
I'm pissed.
But let's actually break that down a little bit. What are the big 4? I like this topic.
I don't think there's a big 4 anymore. I think there's a big 3.
So timing wise, you get the Rumble
Rumble's January. Mania's April, which
right.
rumors are they might move it to May eventually.
Yeah, they're moving to the back end of April.
Possibly.
Right. So then SummerSlam runs...
SummerSlam's August. Survivor Series is November.
Okay. So that's the right sort of planning out. When's Elimination Chamber? Oh, that's in between. Yeah, so you can't do that. Because that's a pretty big event, but that sets up the second night of Mania now, so you can't make that. Because they don't run a pay-per-view
in March.
Yeah.
April is Mania, and then Mania Backlash.
Yeah.
Which seems to be like an international event now. I don't, dude.
The timing wise,
May right now is
right.
There's multiple Saudi shows now,
right?
So
but timing wise, like to spread them out throughout your calendar year, because you can't have them back to back.
No,
you would have to default to Survivor Series and make that a thing again, which I'm completely on board with. Not making it 2 days, but if you give me Survivor Series matches again and make it important,
yeah,
I'm all in.
Yeah, I agree. Make it mean something,
right? And make it not just one or two for each show. Like Survivor Series used to have 2 or 3 Survivor Series matches,
and you have
all over the
such
place.
A bloated roster that you can do that. You can have your world title match, but then but see, it's weird because they kind of took the Survivor Series thing and just threw it into War Games,
right?
So it's like,
yeah.
I love Survivor Series,
right?
And we talked about this a while ago. I think we look at Survivor Series through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you look at the matches, most of them are
most of them they're not right because
it's just a fun seeing everyone team up.
Because they're weird teams and they used to theme the teams and it's fun seeing the pictures of Dusty and Coco Beware on a team together. I used to
love that.
Like all that kind of shit. But yeah, like they were never that great because usually they were in fact scraping the bottom of the roster to fill out some of these teams, and they didn't have chemistry. They didn't really have a reason for being together. You weren't expecting tag team chemistry between Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Coco Beware, or Strike Force and Demolition. Like it just didn't fucking work. But nostalgia's in.
Nostalgia's always going to be in.
But War Games is also a nostalgia act. So which nostalgia act do you default to?
You're going to go War Games.
Right. I think you go to War Games, right? I think you have more potential for War Games. And also, historically, War Games matches are better than Survivor Series matches.
Yeah. Allow blood.
Because I'm going to say this. Don't get mad at me. There's some people on this network that might not agree, but they're going to be wrong. War Games is better because they were an NWA WCW product.
Yeah. I won't argue that.
Right? I know you won't.
I fucking love War Games.
But
I'll call Doug right now and say, Doug, I'm coming over. We're watching War Games. He'll say, okay.
You pick a War Games, and they're going to probably be good.
Doug's booking philosophy is every feud needs to end in War Games.
And it's not a bad philosophy at all. Doug's taste in War Games is way better than his taste in energy drinks as I take another sip.
Oh, Doug.
All right, so they would have to default just because of scheduling, like calendar wise, they would have to default to split them out.
Yeah.
But I hope they don't. But if SummerSlam sells out 2 nights, if it does good ratings, if people are talking about it, they're going to try and move more to 2 nights. And then, if the big 4 do go to 2 nights, Mania is going to go to 3.
No, you can't do that.
You don't think so? You don't think they'll want to keep Mania special?
SmackDown Friday, so you have to have on TV.
That's true.
Raw Monday.
Yeah, and that's true. And they have NXT on Saturday mornings. Yeah, that's true. I guess you can't. Yeah, it is already WrestleMania weekend, so it already is sort of more than. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, and now the factor is, I know Dana White has talked about it.
Right, the slap fighting on slappy on Fridays.
Then UFC pay-per-views are always Saturdays.
Right. Yeah.
So now WWE they can't counter program that.
Right.
They're gonna have to move a lot more of the pay-per-views back to Sundays.
Well, but UFC doesn't run every Saturday, so
no. But there are months where they'll run like 2 Saturdays.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
really quick UFC sidebar, which we don't ever do on this show, but I'm going to talk about it because Chael P. Sonnen should have been a fucking professional wrestler.
Sorry.
A real gangster. Why am I seeing that Silva is fighting Terry Crews?
No, so he was originally supposed to fight Terry Crews.
Yeah.
But then Terry Crews pulled out.
Did he really?
And Chael Sonnen's in.
Why did Terry Crews? Because he was going to get his ass beat because he's not a real fighter?
And it's Silva's last fight ever.
Oh, yeah. That weight difference between Terry Crews and Anderson Silva.
And I'm happy it's taking place in Brazil.
Is it?
Yeah, because
good.
It can't take place in the States. Neither of them would pass a drug test. Are you kidding me?
Chael P. Sonnen said, I am still on those drugs.
He's still on the same steroids.
They're going to have to take his ass out in an ambulance after he beats Anderson Silva.
You think he's going to beat him?
No.
I said Chael, yeah. He's
neither of them have a fucking chin anymore.
That's true.
But is Anderson Silva on steroids? Because we know Chael P. Sonnen still is.
He got popped.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been popped before.
So
I can't wait to watch it.
Dude, I fucking love
that's like the fucking Jake Paul Tyson fight. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll watch that. It is closer to pro wrestling than a lot of what pro wrestling is doing. It 100% is. And a 2024 boxing match between Chael P. Sonnen and Anderson Silva is 100% pro wrestling.
It pulls enough of the crowd that has gotten UFC fatigue.
Yeah.
That looks at that and goes, yeah.
The Chael P. Sonnen promos leading into this is going to be so good. Yeah. The presser is going to be amazing.
Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck.
He's gonna have his aviators on. His hair is gonna be combed, matted down to the side of his fucking head.
Yeah, my favorite is when he told Anderson Silva I'm gonna kick in your back door, pat your wife on the ass, tell her to make me a steak, medium rare.
Chael P. Sonnen is a professional wrestler if there ever fucking was one.
Yeah,
but yeah, he should have been. All right. So, do you have any other news?
I don't.
All right. One little piece that just popped in my head because it was a UFC sidebar. Already, how silly does this Mark Kerr movie look?
So here's the thing. Rock looks like him.
It does a little bit. They put a fake nose on him.
Somebody put a side-by-side up and I go, he looks like Mark Kerr.
Yeah, for sure.
I go, that looks cool as shit. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. Where's it going to go? Probably Prime Video, right? You think somebody's going to
it'll get a limited release.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. A24 will limited release it. That's true. I'd go see it.
It'll be in for probably 2 weekends.
Yeah.
I'll go see it.
So do you think they're going to cast
It's such a niche though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But do you think they're going to cast the other well-known UFC fighters of that era, right? They're going to have to.
I mean, I'd imagine you cast like Hammerhouse.
Yeah, you're going to have to. You're going to have to.
Mark Coleman should just be in it.
There's no way Mark Coleman isn't in it.
Yeah, it's true.
He was just on a video with the fucking Liver King. He disappoints me all day.
Jesus.
Fucking steroids on that dude is unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I fucking love the Smashing Machine. Mark Kerr was
it was an absolute beast. But I wonder obviously there's a lot to focus on in his life.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to cast some people. Like, somebody's going to have to be Mark Coleman in this fucking movie. I hope they don't call the guy that played Ric Flair in Iron Claw.
I was going to fucking say, as long as it's better than the Ric Flair in Iron Claw, we're all right. Did you make Michelle watch that yet?
No, we haven't. I'm not emotionally ready.
No?
No, I'm not.
All right. I want to be here.
Our friends, Ron and Sam watched it, and Sam texted me.
Oh, good.
And
Sam liked wrestling.
Yeah, so she was like, they were like halfway through, and she's like, "This movie's real sad." And I'm like, "Oh, is it? Right now?" And then I was like, "Listen," I said, "You're going to get where you're getting." I said, "But just know that they cut an entire brother out because the director felt that it was too sad and too much of a trauma dump for that movie, and they were going to lose the audience." Yep. And I was like, by the end of this movie, you're going to be like, what was too sad? And she's like, oh, you're talking about the kid, the 5-year-old? And I was like, nope. Oh, no.
Nope.
They don't tell you how that kid died. Then I sent her how that kid died.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, what is happening? And then I sent her the documentary. That's why I asked you about the documentary, was because Ron and Sam watched it. And Ron, she sent me a video, and she was like, what do you think? And Ron was like, just a real happy, great time. What a movie. But Ron refused to watch the documentary because he's a sane person. And Sam was like, I'm watching this documentary. Yeah. I don't know if she did or not. I don't think she listens. But I sent it to her. So they watched it. But Michelle and I are going to watch it. Maybe we got a ton going on this weekend. We'll see. Michelle and I watched The Faculty this week.
Oh, my God.
Because she had never seen it, and I was like, we were just looking, and I was like, let's watch The Faculty. The Faculty's fucking awesome. Yeah. And she really liked it. So, and it's much scarier of a movie than I remember. I've always really liked it. I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters, but it's a very effective horror movie also.
99?
98, 99. Yeah.
I remember seeing like the ads when I was a kid and then watching it years later going, well, it's not bad.
It's really good. There's boobs in it. It works. It's what counts. Right. Listen, this is just a thing that counts in movies sometimes. Yeah. But anyway, I think that's it for news. Oh, wait, should I Google the news? That was a long enough news segment. We can skip Googling.
I think we're
good. It's only going to be depressing. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, because I saw stuff from Tony Khan's called it in.
It was nothing.
Nothing.
There never is on these pre ones. Like, it's just like, what are we doing with this? And it's like nothing.
Oh, except for Mark Henry thinks Velveteen Dream deserves a second chance right now. Yeah.
He said they say that on Busted Open?
I don't know if it was Busted Open or if it was like some other interview. But they asked him who would you cast as like a new Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
He said Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay.
Carmelo Hayes. Forgetting the second person he said because Carmelo Hayes was third.
Yeah.
Don't remember. And then he said he said somebody else, then he goes, then a fifth as a wild card would be Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dream. He goes, I think it's been enough time.
Is that why people asked Tony about renewing Henry's contract?
That story came out before the Patrick Clark comments came out today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he said, he's like, I do think there does need to be cancel culture because I do think people do need to be held accountable.
Sure.
He goes, I also believe that people need second chances and chances to redeem themselves.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, man, like
I agree.
I get that.
I agree with second chances also, but the key to unlock that door is remorse for your actions.
Yeah, and like a lot of people like said with Clark, it wasn't like it was like the Hogan defense of like not sorry for what I did, don't get caught, brother HH.
Right.
And
it's tough.
Look when that like Fed booked him in wherever the fuck, and like the backlash that they got,
he just wrestled this weekend.
Yeah, well, that's
show.
what he said. He said that he saw him at a con or something. He says he looks great. He's in great shape.
Sure.
And I'm like, listen, man, it ain't my fucking hill to die on.
It is an incredibly difficult thing to talk about, and I'm not excusing his behavior in any way. No. But there is a line to cross that he, as far as we know, did not cross. That you can't come back from. Right. Yeah. But if you're going to get a second chance, it's not guaranteed for anybody. But you have to step up and be remorseful and honestly take an assessment of what you did and apologize for your actions. And he hasn't done that. Yeah,
it isn't like he needs to be thrown immediately at TV either.
No,
like, show you actually want it.
Right, people fuck up all the time. We're human.
People fuck up, man.
But if you're not going to take it seriously about what you did and apologize in a genuine way, then go fuck yourself right away. Like that's, and you're not even guaranteed a second chance, even if you do apologize.
Yeah. And that was like Henry's thing. It was like, he deserves a second chance. He goes, fucks him again, then fuck him.
Right.
Right.
But there's plenty of people out there. There's people that steal protein powder in Japan that will never fucking own up to doing any stupid fucking bullshit.
They sure won't.
So
they'll sue your ass if you say anything different.
Exactly.
And then I'll make a GoFundMe for my legal fees.
Right. Allegedly. But
no, allegedly.
That's true. He did.
Send you the link, brother.
Sucks. I know. I meant allegedly about stealing the powder. I don't want him coming after us. I don't. Doug. I've ruined the relationship with our lawyer for bashing his energy drink.
So he's pissed now.
He's pissed.
That retainer just went up, brother.
It's no longer working for free.
Yeah, the rates gone up.
Right. He just honky tonk man after that Raw reunion special. Rates went up on me.
That's right, brother.
Oh, kayfabe is dead. So.
All right.
Also, I'm going to say this out loud on this podcast so that they're reminded, because Michelle will definitely forget. Michelle has a question for one of the Final Wrestling Boys if he comes up here on Sunday.
Whoa.
So Michelle has a question. She asked me a question that I could not answer.
Okay.
So, I answered, but I'm not an expert on the situation.
Okay. Picking up what you're putting down. Okay.
So,
all right. So let's talk about wrestling. I watched a match from Monday Night Raw.
Is it Jey Uso versus Gunther?
No. Okay. So I watched two matches. Okay. The one that was actually good.
Okay. Yeah.
Lyra Valkyria. So this was a Queen of the Ring semifinal.
I didn't see this, but yeah.
Lyra Valkyria versus Io Sky, Io Shirai.
What are they doing?
Dude, the match was really fucking good.
Was it? Because I don't think Lyra is very good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It took a bit to get going, but it got there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird. I don't buy into Lyra yet either. Yeah. They're already trying to
I think
crown her.
Not that I want anybody locked in NXT forever.
No.
Because they have a tendency to do that to people and really fuck some talented people over, i.e. Cameron Grimes. But I don't think she was fully cooked yet. And maybe she doesn't need to be on the roster. Who knows? I don't watch the product.
I was just saying I wasn't watching NXT,
but I'm glad the match was good.
Yeah, man.
Io, I don't buy her.
Io continues to prove like she is
an incredible wrestler.
Probably the best women's wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
I love Io. Okay. I'll tell you what, they have been changing like some production values, which are pretty cool.
I noticed in the match.
One of the things they did, so she hits an Asai moonsault.
Okay.
And they're going to commercial break, and they show her doing it in slow-mo. And, like, when she hits Lyra, they go to commercial.
Okay.
I was like, oh, like, that was, like, pretty cool,
yeah.
you know?
Picture-in-picture or just straight commercial?
Just straight commercial.
Okay,
I was like, oh, like, that's different, you know? Like,
smart.
I'm cool with that. But, yeah, I don't know who Lyra's going to face. The semifinals are... So, SmackDown's in Saudi tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Which I
know Jade got eliminated because Nia.
It's either Nia or Bianca.
Yeah, because Nia fucked with Jade's kid, and Jade got disqualified.
Yeah, so which
is a smart way because even At Odds was talking about how do you. I think it was At Odds, or maybe it was Final Wrestling, maybe it was both talking about how do you not get to Bianca versus Jade in the main when you can't really have either one of them lose.
You can't.
You take Jade out that way. It's smart.
Yeah. So it's going to be Lyra versus one of those two. I'll read about the results because I ain't fucking watching the show.
I don't watch Blood Oil Money shows, so I just don't.
So yeah, the other match I know you said you watched. I watched it too.
It stunk.
It's not good. Gunther versus Jey Uso.
It stunk.
I like the finish. Gunther choking him out.
Yeah.
That was a good finish.
Gunther's fine. Gunther's not the problem.
Gunther's a fucking man. So it's going to be Gunther, I think Gunther versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
And then Triple H announced today the winners of the tournaments get title shots at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so it's
Gunther's going to beat Damian Priest at SummerSlam.
I think it's going to be Randy Orton.
Yeah?
Randy Cody SummerSlam.
Oh.
That's a lot of backstory there.
There is. History. For sure.
Randy could be a son of a bitch.
Yeah, absolutely. No matter what people say.
I fucking love Randy Orton. He's so good.
Do you run that risk though, man? Like, of does it kill Gunther's momentum? He loses the IC belt. He's not going to win King of the Ring. Where does he go? When does he get the challenge then? Or does he just twist in the wind until they decide to throw him up randomly? Because we said this last week or the week before. Like, if there's a next up dude in this whole company, it's Gunther.
It's Gunther, but I do think, and I've been shown the light. Not that I wasn't a Randy Orton supporter before,
right? For sure.
But there's a lot of money in Orton, and
and I don't think there's a bad thing either way.
You can do Gunther, Cody, whenever,
right?
Because especially with WWE right now, they're long title reigns. Mm-hmm. You can come back to Cody Gunther.
Oh, what if? Okay, yeah. Well,
but you do Cody Orton at SummerSlam.
So the joy of wrestling is that you can get to any of these places any other way, right?
You sure can.
So do Orton Cody because Gunther would have to win or you kill him, right? Like that's I don't love that pairing right now because Cody's not going to lose.
To me, that feels like a title match at Royal Rumble.
But what if you get you do Orton, right? You do Orton, Cody, Orton's a motherfucker. You can tie into like the Legend Killer, like all that shit. You can go back, do all that, whatever. And then you do find a way to get to Gunther Priest. Gunther wins. And then down the line, they unify those stupid fucking belts again because you don't need to.
They're not going to unify them.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think they'll ever go back to unifying again?
I don't, no. Because if you're going to have a champ on SmackDown and a champ on Raw...
I guess so. I guess they don't want the champ running both shows anymore.
No, they don't.
Okay.
And, I mean...
I just worry about... granted, Gunther is a good enough wrestler and an imposing enough force that, like, he does have that level of bulletproofness, but everybody has an end date. You know what I mean? Like, the milk goes bad eventually. And...
The milk's gone bad.
It's... the fans are super behind Gunther... and it is too soon to pull the trigger now for him, Cody.
Yeah.
But if there's a next one up, the All-American Cody against the foreign invading Gunther, and put that belt on fucking Gunther.
Cody Mania running wild, taking down the evil foreigner.
Well, and then you have Cody lose and then Cody chase again. I think that could work. But who knows? I don't know.
The big cloud named Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson hanging over Mania for next year.
It's hanging over. It is a dark cloud for fucking sure. And it's just going to piss rain all over any momentum they get.
Oh, DJ.
Don't say that to me.
Both Dwayne Johnson and DJ.
Yeah, we get along. That's why we got the same name.
Uh-huh.
My name is also Dwayne Johnson. So that's my middle name is Johnson. My first name is Dwayne. It's just spelled differently. Mine's with a W.
Yeah, yes.
My first name is spelled like Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne.
Yeah. Dwayne Wade from a different world with the flip-up glasses, what I wanted to be when I was a kid real bad.
I thought about Dwayne Wade, the basketball player for the Miami Heat.
Dwayne Wayne.
Oh, Dwayne Wayne.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade.
I might have said it both ways. Whatever. But I'm fine with both. And one of them had cool flip-up sunglasses that I wanted desperately as a kid.
And the other one's
married to Gabrielle Union, and there's no fucking problem with that.
Nobody lets her eat his butt.
Oh, yeah?
Allegedly.
That's Lead, I would insist.
I wouldn't say I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not doing this to you. Yeah. You're much too good.
Yeah, this is.
She's ageless and wonderful. So
she is awesome. What a beautiful woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that's all I have for WWE. I didn't watch NXT.
Okay,
we'll let Adam talk about his moments of the week.
I ain't got nothing on that. I saw somebody say talk about spoilers. I ain't watching any of that shit.
His Grease Fest.
I'm fucking good. Yeah, good. Congratulations.
Yes.
I noticed you tried to make yourself look taller than Sky Blue in all the pictures and nobody else, but all right.
New Jersey will never be the same. I think it was in New Jersey.
Yeah,
did the restraining orders come?
It would have to be in New Jersey. It's the only place that could exist. Shout out Kenny, though, because Kenny, I'm jealous of Kenny because Kenny took a picture with Abaddon that I would take with Abaddon.
Oh, yeah,
where he's afraid of her. That's how you handle that, Kenny.
Adam's got the trademark point. He got the Triple H point.
That's true.
On.
He does have his own thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
As Mike pointed out, one of the crotch, one of the boobies.
There you go. But Kenny with the afraid of Abaddon, that's how you handle that, Kenny. That's how you do that. And Kenny, I'm with you, buddy. I'm a fan of Abaddon. I think they should be doing more with her. Maybe not more in the ring, but more with the character.
Honestly, I think they're very overrated.
Yeah. In ring, sure, but I think you could do something with the character.
In ring stinks out loud.
It's like Kenny's not overrated. How dare you?
No.
I know.
Kenny's a fucking man.
I'm with you, Kenny.
All right. So AEW.
AEW. Oh, this is fun. This is my solo section here. I like this. We got questions that we do, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
I'll say right now, I did not watch Collision.
You're a smart man.
And I did not watch Rampage.
You're a smart man. I
saw those cards and what they were on paper, and I go, I'm good.
So I didn't do that.
I'm not fucking doing this.
I just tuned in. I watched it after it aired, so I got to fast forward.
Yep.
But
I started watching Collision, and I saw the first match was Will Ospreay, Shane Taylor.
Sure was.
And I go, I'm not doing this.
So it pulled a really good rating for Collision.
Great.
Which is hilarious because I think it's one of the worst collisions they've done in a while. And that's saying that we were a couple of colliders. I don't know that we can necessarily claim Collision or colliders these days.
I miss you, Phil.
But I don't. But still, this was a bad wrestling television show. And what did we say? Listen, they got one more coming up before the pay-per-view, and they announced what's seemingly the main event for that one a couple minutes ago before we started recording. Yeah. And that looked like it's going to be a fucking banger. The Jarrett Junction versus Dragon and FTR. Yeah. No complaints there. But we said 2 weeks ago on the show that they always fuck up a show leading into the pay-per-view. And this Collision was the one that took the fucking bullet this week. Collision and the Rampage. It didn't take a bullet, it took a shit. It took a dump.
When I saw one of the matches on TV was going to be Nick Wayne versus Jack Cartwheel.
Yeah.
I go, I'm not watching GCW on TNT. I'm good.
Thankfully, everyone made fun of Jack Cartwheel's name.
Good.
But all right, so I'm going to run this down really quick, though. I'm just going to give you my notes.
Yeah, my name is fucking Brett Somersault. Cool.
Can you have to be able to do one to have the name?
I'll do one right now. Don't you fucking?
No, you won't.
I'll do a forward roll. I can do a forward roll.
Sure, you can.
I can. I'll do it right now. Don't make me do it.
I won't.
I'll wake up this whole.
You will. The whole neighborhood. Wilbur Ospreay versus Shane Taylor with Roddy on commentary.
I can do a somersault.
I'm sure you could.
I'll do it right now.
Somersault, summer pepper.
You weren't there at Nova when I fucking ran and dove into the foam pit.
Yeah, okay? That's true. So the best thing in this match is that Will Ospreay throws water on Roddy outside the ring, and Roddy sells it like he's been shot. But that's it.
I appreciate that.
And then UK, the United, no, that's not the Undisputed Kingdom.
The whole UK.
The whole United Kingdom shows up.
Christ.
And they beat up Wilbur Ospreay.
Boy, does that seem to be a running thread.
Yep. Mox Claudio gets a promo all about Takeshita. It's a good promo because they're both sort of yelling about Takeshita, trying to think he has the right to challenge for all this shit. And who does he think he is? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it probably 9 times on the show. Takeshita needs to beat Moxley at this pay-per-view because it's an eliminator match.
I agree.
And then run it back down the line or don't. I don't care.
You know what's funny? So I saw all the fucking fake Puritans being like, you mean to tell me you're going to have the champion of New Japan, IWGP champion, lose to Takeshita on a pay-per-view?
Yes.
And people are going, so you've never watched a G1, have you?
Right.
Or you've never watched a tag match
where not for the title.
The champ gets pinned and then you get your title match. There's just fake outrage,
right.
dude.
There's no way he beats Mox for the title, but there's no reason why he shouldn't win this Eliminator. If you want to push him and make something of him, he beats Mox. Even if you do a little bit of interference, he beats Mox and gets a title shot down the line. Even if down the line Mox fucking dog walks him when the title's on the line.
Yep.
That's fine.
It's just fake outrage.
That's fine, because if he beats Mox, Mox is going to be pissed, and the first thing Mox does in the rematch is stab him with scissors for real. So, it's going to work.
Speaking of Mox, did you watch him on AEW?
Mox?
Yeah.
No.
He was on AEW.
Was he?
Yeah, it was the 100th episode.
Oh. I did watch the dinner and a movie thing, or the dinner match. It was fine. It was fun. Eddie's cool. Right. It was funny.
Poor Eddie.
I know, poor Eddie. Out forever now. That stinks.
That's a bad injury.
It's a bad injury, but he'll be all right. He'll come back.
Yeah.
And then...
but yeah, Mox was on AEW.
Yeah, that's funny.
You should watch
I'll watch it. And I forgot to watch the Briscoe thing on YouTube, too. I'm going to watch that. I saw the clip of him showing the action figures to the family, and I was like, I can't watch anymore. But
Marcus loved AEW. He loves RJC.
Yeah, well, RJC's great.
Yeah, loves him.
All right. We get Hook versus Johnny Nitro. That's a big nope.
Get the fuck going.
And then since this is like running, these are the chances to get into the Jericho three-way eliminator or whatever. Shibata comes out before Hook is gone because Hook wins, and they fist bump. Shibata versus Rocky Romero. Also didn't watch that. Shibata wins. Brian Keith comes out before Shibata is done. They don't really look. And it's Brian Keith versus Beefcake Boulder.
Good.
I'm good too, but Beefcake Boulder does a move called the Titty City where he jams someone's face into his titties. Titty City.
Big fan of that.
Pac promo, which is actually really good, and he says, make me feel something, make me care, and that's scary.
Jeez, that terrifies me.
And then this is where we get probably the coolest thing on this show.
We're gonna knock loose.
Yeah, probably the coolest thing.
How fucking dare you?
Have you seen the t-shirt, the wrestling shirt?
I sure have.
How good that barks with that rip and riff. Anyway, BC Gold entrance. This is where they have Pac knocked out on the floor.
So.
Yes.
They're no longer being referred to as BC Gold.
I know, the Bang Bang, because they're not BC Gold without juice. Telling you.
That's a good point.
It's a Legion of Doom. It's a Legion of Doom Road Warriors thing.
I like that.
They're Jay White and the gun.
They're the Bang Bang gang.
They're the Bang Bang gang.
When Juice comes in, they're the Bullet Club Gold.
Okay. The Bang Bang gang is a member of the Bullet Club Gold.
I respect that.
That's my headcanon. I don't know if it's true, but that's what it is in my brain.
I like it.
Because listen, they're great and I love them, but they're not special until Juice is there. Let's just put that way. But this is the cool thing where they have Pac KO. This is like the coolest thing on the show.
I saw that, yeah.
We get a patriarchy promo, which is great. We get Orange Cassidy versus Isaiah Cassidy. It was fine. I don't care. Why does anybody care? But Trent comes through the crowd with security. It was a fun match. OC gives the kid a ton, whatever. Trent says he's a better wrestler than OC, challenges him for the pay-per-view, and he eats a punch. D versus Anna Jay, nope. But Mariah May is out post-match to help Luther. Sorry, this is the coolest thing on the show.
Yes,
I forgot this was here. Luther's holding the Deeb flag.
I certainly saw this clip.
Mariah May holds the other end, and Toni Storm comes out and strips behind the flag. Firing the rocket ship around the country for a lot of people. Finally, this show was picking up. This was Collision. I was like, all right, we're into something now. We're into nothing because that's immediately followed by GCW on TBS with Nick Wayne versus Cartwheel. Yeah. And then the main event is FTR and Dragon versus Archer and the Revival. Mm-hmm. I like Dutch just like Ed does. Me and Ed in the Dutch camp. I like Archer, but there's not a ton here. And then Garcia makes the save post-match here, and like
him and FTR are tight.
Right. But I was like, is this just in case Darby doesn't actually get cleared? They can sub Garcia in?
So I know you just said the Revival, but it's the Righteous.
Oh, what did I say? Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute. I was like, they're just using FTR's old name?
No, it's Dutch and Vincenzo. Yeah.
The painter.
But Garcia makes post-match. I'm like, well, do you think it would be Darby here to help hype for the pay-per-view? But I get you don't want Darby out doing anything else right now because what if he steps wrong and re-breaks his foot? And then if he doesn't, for whatever reason, get cleared because who knows, then you can sub in Garcia. I don't know if that's the case, but it's just what it is.
Yeah.
Rampage. Cool Kyle versus Lee Moriarty was a sneaky good TV match. But it's not worth going out of your way.
I was tempted, but I was right. Yeah, like I'm just not
right. It's a good match. If this was in the middle of a good show, you're like, oh, that was a really cool match, and it was good, but whatever. We get an Acclaimed promo where Max Caster calls himself the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, he's been doing that. It's weird.
And then Bowens is going to wrestle Cage, which he calls an obsolete machine, and then names himself Anthony the Scissor King Bowens. So that's a thing.
Jesus Christ.
We get Roosh versus C4 Chung. Cody C4 Chung.
I saw the drop kick. I saw the clip of that
Roosh,
where he murders this kid.
My notes here say squash match, maybe a murder.
More Roosh on my television, please.
Roosh goes back post-match and kills the guy more.
Good.
FTR gets beat up. They won't make it to Dynamite. Dragon tells the Elite to take their best shot at him. We get Deonna Purrazzo versus Robin Renegade.
Ugh.
Which is used to further the Thunder Rosa Deonna Purrazzo feud.
What are we doing?
This is where we find out that the Elite has hired Sanjay, or Sanjay has offered his services, and the Elite hire Satnam to take out the Dragon.
Yeah.
The main event is Cage versus Bowens, and I don't have any notes. I'm good here. Overall, really,
out of the 3 hours of television, how much of it was quality?
10 minutes, honestly. No, that's not true. 20, because the Kyle Lee Moriarty match was good. And then there was some good promos. The Pac promo is good. The BC Gold, Tony Storm thing, that's all good stuff.
Okay.
But the in-ring, their only one was cool Kyle Lee Moriarty. Everything else is like Dragon FTR. It's always fun to watch Dragon. It's fun to watch him like run circles around Dutch. And I like Archer, but like it's just not worth going to it. It's completely fast forwardable, completely skippable. It builds very little for the pay-per-view that's coming up in a week, but they have this other Collision, so why build here? I don't know. I just don't know. But there's very little. Deonna Purrazzo Thunder Rosa is already uninteresting and a pivot away from anything else they were trying to get done. But when you add
that feud off as the main event of a Rampage,
right? But when you add Robin Renegade in, it just none of it makes any fucking sense. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. The completely skippable professional wrestling because all the good stuff was pretty much clipped. The Tony Storm thing was really a thing you needed to see. The Mox Claudio promo, which they also clipped for their social media, was very good. But it's very little build. They do like it's just very little build. It's completely skippable.
It's just like a show that happens. Like there's no meaning to it.
You know, and I'm fine with Rampage usually being that. And like I talked about this in the Discord, like Brian Alvarez earlier in the week or last week, whatever the fuck it was like, why am I watching the next episode of AEW? Like, what are they doing that gets me to come back for the next episode? He's like, where's the cliffhanger? Where's this and that? And it's not necessarily their style of wrestling. They're missing some stuff, sure. I think this week's Dynamite, which we're going to talk about, does a lot of what he was complaining they didn't do. Mm-hmm. And he goes, if you're going to watch AEW, you just watch it for great in-ring wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Right? Like,
but the problem is when they're not giving you that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, the problem is that like Rampage was the show that you accepted as going, well, it's okay. Maybe you get a cool surprise thing every now and then. You know, if Rampage was running on a Friday and people were like, cool, Kyle versus Lee Moriarty was real good. I'm like, oh, cool. They put a cool match on Rampage to watch. Yeah. Then give Kyle a win because he's just jobber guy now or whatever. But, oh
yeah, because this wasn't a 3-hour block, wasn't it?
Right, it was. Cool. So like, when you run this and it's like, bare bolt, like I'm watching the Jericho 3 things where there's nothing in contention here whatsoever. Yeah. Like, I like Brian Keith a ton. I have no interest in watching him wrestle fucking Bear Boulder. And it's not even a shot at Bear Boulder. I don't have a problem with those dudes
There's
either.
Just no interest.
It's just not their place, necessarily right now. And I was just like, this ain't what you do. Yeah. It's not what's there. And they do have a strong disconnect, like AEW does, and I love them, but they're not without faults. I'm never going to say that they're not faultless, but like, they definitely treat Collision like a show that doesn't matter. Yeah. They definitely treat Collision like, and listen, Collision was started for a very specific reason. Collision was started to give Phil a show, right? Because because Phil could be a headliner every week and was going to make money for this fucking company. It's undeniable.
Yeah.
And when that all went down and he went away, Collision sort of lost its purpose a little bit. And they've run really good Collisions. They had Eddie headlining that shit. Yeah. They would have everybody on the show and it was cool.
The best is probably when like the Continental Classic was happening.
Right, exactly.
They had good matches on it.
And like Dragons on the show, like all that kind of stuff. But it does very much seem like an afterthought, and it so rarely weaves into the bigger story. Like they don't have a B show. They have an A show and a C and D show.
Yeah.
And that's just not, it's not fucking cutting it.
No.
And it's fine. It's just skippable TV. It's why your ratings are down. Nothing wrong with that. I used to be able to skip a shit ton of WWE too. You still can.
Sure.
Right? But like Tim and Marcus were talking about like the SmackDown 6 era and stuff. And you're welcome for the content, guys.
Jesus.
But,
God damn it.
sorry. You're welcome for the content, Tim. But, Marcus, we're cool. But, but like they said, like before that era, SmackDown was a skippable show until they had the real brand split. Like we're competing to see who can be fucking better. Yeah. SmackDown was very much a skippable show.
And here's the thing too, like, and they talked about it on Final Wrestling. So I thought they did a great job.
No, it was a very good episode. Absolutely.
Like over on Raw at that time was the Triple H Reign of Terror stuff.
Right.
You know, like,
but Collision
very skippable.
Collision has not found its identity. And they're not weaving enough through these stories to get there. And then when you put on a 3-hour block of TV, which is tough,
you said, maybe 20 minutes.
Right. I still don't like. I don't think Raw should be 3 hours. I think it's too hard to fucking fill.
Triple H has said it should be 3 hours, but so much with advertisers, like they kind of have to.
And again, like we talked about with the SummerSlam going to 2 nights, if it does really well, this 3-hour block pulled one of the best ratings Collision's ever had. Yeah. And if it keeps doing that, then they're going to say, well, we're going to move Rampage and just make Collision 3 hours. Or we're going to make Dynamite 3 hours. And that's a fucking mistake. It's a mistake. I fucking hate it. It's a mistake.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. Anyway.
I got real angry there.
That's the end of Collision. That's the end of fucking Rampage. Let's talk about Dynamite, which I felt was an excellent show.
Okay.
You didn't like this Dynamite?
We'll talk.
Oh, brother.
So I watched this late. I did watch part of it
in
a restaurant, which made me real happy. I sat down on my left eye's on the Dynamite screen, my right eye's on the Phillies.
Nice.
God damn, the Phillies are so good. Best team in baseball. So I did like the Furiosa intro. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a nice little touch.
I like that they're what's probably going to be the biggest movie of the last couple of months. Going to make a shit ton of money this weekend. It's nice to see Warner's rolling some of their products in with each other. It makes sense.
I thought that was like just a touch different. Yeah. You know, just hey, here's some fucking advertisement for this big movie we have coming out, which I do want to see.
Nice. You should have Furiosa show up at the pay-per-view.
Who would Furiosa go after?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a bad idea on
Nick
my part.
Wayne.
Yeah, sure. Does she have a dad? Christian.
There you go. So, first match.
Yes.
Roderick Strong, Trent Beretta against Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay.
Yes.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's good. So
I think it's great. It's good.
Yeah. What I like better from this was I like doing this kind of match to build to a pay-per-view.
So
I like mixing 2 matches into tag teams.
And the whole we'll talk obviously about the show, but this felt like such a pinpointing. Here's the match. Here's the character. Here's the match on the pay-per-view, which is what you're supposed to kind of do. And I think they did a good job with it. It just felt very segmented, which is fine.
It's very much a reaction to a lot of people saying AEW doesn't have stories. And they're like, well, here's all our stories.
Yeah.
And fucking your best buddy, fucking Ray Deadly, getting dragged for being like, this is an infomercial for AEW's pay-per-view, not an AEW show. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Did he?
Yeah. It's like, try and find a fucking thing to complain about, you asshole.
That's all it is.
All of wrestling is advertising to the next pay-per-view because that's where they make money.
Yeah.
Live weekly wrestling is a loss leader, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What a moron.
You get everybody involved. They further the Callis story.
Ospreay,
Wardlow takes
color.
Right. Wardlow takes out Ospreay. OC eats the pin. And he gets choked out on the ramp.
And then Ospreay gets blood.
Yes.
He takes a belt shot.
He does.
I sneeze.
Oh, only one? Oh, there's 2.
No third.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, my sneezes are off lately.
Yep, that's so weird.
So, all right, the purpose of a go-home show
Yeah.
is to really sell the matches.
Yes.
Did this tag match make you want to see both these matches more at the pay-per-view?
I mean, that's a good question. And I would say no.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at it. That's a really good question because I wasn't looking at them that way. I do appreciate the fact that they're like, well, let's make these matter, right? Because Dragon and FTR are building to a big match at a pay-per-view, and they're every week they're wrestling just to whatever random 3 guys they can throw together, and it's like, okay, but that doesn't really build anything. So no, it didn't, which could be seen as a fault. I appreciate them trying to build something this way. I think this is the way you're supposed to do it. But also, and I'm going to say this, controversial take here, these are the 2 weakest programs going into that pay-per-view, or 2 of the weakest.
I agree.
So they didn't do enough to elevate them. So I think they're just like, well, everybody wants to see OC and everybody wants to see Ospreay, so it doesn't really matter, right? Which is a strategy. Winning or good or bad, that's up to you, but it's a strategy. But Ospreay, Roddy isn't lighting. The match is going to be really good, and Ospreay's going to win that belt.
Yeah.
Pretty locked down there. OC Trent, a little more in the air. OC taking the pin here makes me think that OC is winning.
Could go either way.
But I like these guys, but you're not blowing anybody's doors off. But there is a story there. So who knows? Hopefully Trent's mom turns on Trent at the pay-per-view and helps OC.
Ooh. And
that'll make it great. But yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but it's a good question. I think so. Sadly, and I don't watch enough WWE to answer that question for those matches. I'll tell you that Gunther J. Uso didn't light my world on fire in any way. But AEW, I think more often than not, fails that question, sadly. I think that they, while I really like this Dynamite, it was more so for the segments and not the wrestling. And I think that AEW kind of does fail that question, is does this match make you more hyped for the pay-per-view? And I think most of the time I'll answer you no.
And I know, we talk about it, and I feel like it's an evergreen statement. Mm-hmm. Anytime, the build is weak,
yes,
the pay-per-views always
deliver. Right. Doesn't mean that AEW can rest on their laurels, and they do tend to do that.
I do agree.
And again, I'm not even saying fucking AEW sucks. I still love AEW.
I do too.
But we're also not fucking maniacs that don't see faults in things.
Sure. If
something sucks, I don't care who does it. It fucking sucks. Yeah. Not that this sucks. I thought the match was fine.
Yeah, it's a fine match.
But it fails that question, and that's an important question to ask.
Well, that's gonna be a running theme throughout the show that I'm gonna ask you that question.
Okay, good.
Bang Bang Gang comes out.
Yes, we get the Bucks band Darby first, but that's fine.
Yeah. Bang Bang Gang comes out.
Yes.
Not a great promo. It was weird.
Jay was
felt
weird.
Very jumbled.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Jay got thrown off by the dude saying, who writes this shit or whatever. Yeah. A little tough. And the answer is nobody. He just comes out and does. A little tough. Hey, listen, Jay White's strong suit isn't promos. He's normally better.
Not a great crowd last night either.
No.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it was. It was in Bakersfield, which is 3 hours ahead of us. So, it starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
They have a rougher West Coast time than they do on the East Coast, I think.
Yeah, even next week is the Kia Forum, which is big, and they're not set up for it big, so it's going to be weird. But you do get Pac up on the screen, and you get the return of the motherfucking Death Triangle.
You do.
Very happy about that.
They're the Death Square now because Rey Fenix is the size of 2 men.
Listen, he's on that chicken and rice, brother.
What was he out with? An injury. What happens when you go out with an injury?
Come back on
you
chicken
work
and rice.
upper body.
Absolutely. Fuck his upper body business,
death.
brother. I wish Abraham would have got kicked in his face when he did
dude, him trying to run.
What a fucking nerd.
They don't
get out of here. They don't need
They
you.
don't need him anymore.
They don't fucking
no
need
way.
you, pal.
They do not. And fucking hilarious him trying to get into formation.
Yeah, get out of here.
He's the rejected member of Ginyu Force. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes. Do they make this official for the pay-per-view for the trios?
So it's a trios match.
Is it not for the titles?
There's a tag match on Collision. So Bang Bang Gang said to the Lucha Brothers, I think later on in the show.
It's the Guns versus the Lucha.
They said, they said we're former tag team champions. You're former tag team champions. If you want these belts on the line, you beat us on Collision, and the belts will be on the line for the pay-per-view.
That's silly.
It's weird.
Because it's completely different belts.
It's very weird.
But this segment, this makes me excited to see the match.
Absolutely. For sure. Very happy to have Death Triangle
Death
back.
Triangle fucking rocks.
Yes.
So.
For sure.
All right. Next, I have...
Brother, we don't even need to fucking talk about the Jericho. Is where you're going Jericho thing? Fucking garbage, dude.
What was this?
It's garbage. I'm glad that Hook is he's cultivating some mass.
Listen, I'm always super happy to see Katsuyori Shibata.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
but they call this a 3-way eliminator match, but it's a number 1 contender match. But they call it an eliminator match, but an eliminator match is when you wrestle the champion for a shot at the title. It's real stupid that they use that. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's an elimination style 3-way. Cool. They're going to eliminate Brian Keith. We're going to get Hook versus Shibata, and I'm going to enjoy myself. Yeah. And instead, Hook puts on the laziest fucking red rum I've ever seen.
Shibata has the figure 4 on.
And Keith taps the double tap. And so now it's a 3-way at the pay-per-view.
I think it was Matty D. He's like, I can't wait to be on a fucking show and somebody's just going to fucking kill this spot to death.
And it's a 3-way at the pay-per-view so Jericho can take the fucking night off.
Yeah.
Right? And like, I did not like it in any way.
No.
Hook, again, super overexposed, but also like, I'm glad he's putting on mass, but Hook, I think, is going to start to enter, and maybe I'm wrong, he's going to start his build my resume for my WWE run in AEW.
And there's talks of that.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Great.
If you want to, go enjoy Florida.
Go for
I hope you like Florida.
Go for it. Taz is, I don't know if he's legit hot, probably not because he's a professional, but I love Taz's commentary where he's like, this is fucking stupid. Yeah. That belt, you can't have that belt, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this is garbage. It sucks. Jericho sucks. It stinks.
So did this make you excited for the match?
No. But nothing could, other than removing Jericho from it completely. Because like even Jericho, when he gets in the mic and he's like, I never lose to anybody, like trying to like twist that fucking.
He's like, you know how much I love my screen time,
Right, and he's
It's like, all right, dude.
Right, he's like, nobody ever loses to me, or no, I don't lose to anybody. And it's like, get the fuck out of here, just knock it off. Again, I can't miss you if you don't go away.
Yeah, people championing that shit. I was like, nope, I'm good. All right, Takeshita squashes Matt Sydal.
As he should.
Moxley comes out, smacks him in the mouth, and just says, I'll see you at the pay-per-view,
I will answer yes to your question.
Yes, I agree.
Because when Mox comes out, I'm like, this Mox is going to be, he's ready to cut a fucking promo. And when he just decks him with the mic, I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
That, awesome. Absolutely.
Agreed. Yep. I'll answer yes to that. Swerve.
What up, turds?
What up, turds? I just love him just talking, not being afraid of the Young Bucks. It makes me very happy.
Like, you're in our seat, and he's like, "Oh, am I?"
Yeah, and they're like, "All right, hit the champ's music." Go ahead. Swerve, Nick Wayne.
Yeah.
Again, match means nothing really. Right. Post match though, he's getting jumped.
It is him fighting the patriarchy who are going to be on his throat at the pay-per-view. But there's no drama here.
The only thing I liked was when Swerve took his belt off and he's like, "Oh, you want a daddy? I'll be your daddy." Or starts whooping him.
When Nick Wayne does like the Orihara moonsault and Swerve just fucking catches him, I was like, Jesus Christ.
I wish he wouldn't have still hit the DDT out of that. Yeah. I wish Swerve would have just caught him and ran him into a ring post. That would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the post match stuff,
beautiful.
I love Christian checking on Nick Wayne, thinking Luchasaurus is just beating down Swerve. Swerve hits the low blow, chases Christian out to the back. Dude, when fucking Christian got cut off in the SUV, and it was Nana was so
And Nana has apparently launched a coffee line.
Yeah, he was drinking his coffee.
He's drinking his coffee, so the Nana coffee, whatever it is.
That was so cool.
It is an incredibly well done segment.
They did that perfect.
They really did.
So that makes me more excited to see that match.
Absolutely.
It really does.
I thought perfect segment, great bit.
Did its job.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, that's the strength of this show is this stuff. This is the best I think AEW has done these things. This Swerve segment, the Mox thing, I think that's the best they've done this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In maybe not ever, but in a long time.
Yeah. Malachi Black versus Kyle O'Reilly.
It's a great fucking match, dude.
I'm so happy you said that. Because I was nervous that you were going to be like,
why? I like these dudes.
That's why this works.
No, I like these dudes. I know I'm not always the highest on Malachi, but this match fucking ruled. I love Cool Kyle.
I love the match itself. My favorite part is Taz.
Yeah.
When he's like, oh, this may not be a match for some people. He goes, I think pro wrestling needs more of this type of stuff.
Absolutely.
He goes, and that's great. He's like, and that's a shoot.
Yeah.
I loved striking like this.
Right. Yeah. And both guys have like the Muay Thai, kickboxing background. AEW has maybe mishandled Malachi. There's been a lot of chatter about his attitude and his wants backstage. I don't know what's true and what's not. It's all chatter and it's bullshit, right?
That's the problem. It's chatter.
Right. So, like, if he's difficult backstage, then you've done what you can with him.
Agreed.
Right? But if it is all just chatter and bullshit and you're not using this guy more, then you've misused him. But we don't know the state of his back. We don't know how much you've had to hide him in tag matches. All that kind of shit could be absolutely true. He would not be the first guy who was hurt but still wanted to wrestle, so was hidden in trios matches. You know, he also doesn't need to do a ton because he's got fucking Brody.
Yeah.
Right? But when you get him out there to fucking wrestle, and spooky shit, some of it's tired, some of it isn't.
Yeah.
But when you get him out there in a match like this against the dude that fucking rules, you know, and I hate Kyle came back, he got his little hero's welcome, and then he's been losing.
I know, he's like been playing like second hand to edge.
Right. But, you know,
I thought the match
was not a bad
awesome,
position to come on TV and have matches like this.
No, not at all.
Eventually you'll catch that, you'll catch the coaster, you'll catch the heat, you'll get on a heater and you'll be rolling. But if you're going to go out there and showcase matches with guys you want to get over, Cool Kyle will do that to everybody.
Yeah.
He's too good of a fucking wrestler. Just pay off the Shibata thing. That's what we're all waiting for.
Fucking hell. But yeah, though, I mean, I really did. I enjoyed the shit out of this. I thought it was so good.
Yeah. I will never be upset about seeing Kyle on TV.
No.
I love him.
And you know what, man? I've been a big Malachi Black fan since day one. Mm-hmm. And I still think they fucking hurt him way back when he debuted.
Yeah.
Because if you remember his debut, lights go out, lights come back on. He lays out Arn Anderson, lays out Cody.
Right.
He has a match against Cody on a Dynamite, and he fucking squashes him. Mm-hmm. Cody had to get his win back.
Sure did.
Cody kicked out of the black mass, and it was like, fuck. Right. And then, like, that was it for his singles.
Yeah.
It's like nothing really happened.
They had a hard time figuring, because, like, you know, injuries and stuff plagued this guy too, but like they had a hard time with Miro in the same way.
Yeah.
They just don't know what to fucking do with him.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of it was because like there were these guys that were, you know, WWE guys, and Malachi's an indie guy before that, but like, you know, Tony had a hard time trying to figure out where these guys fit in. Yeah. And they also sort of, purposefully or not, mandated or not, whoever's idea or not, they also kind of wanted to establish like, well, the WWE guys aren't going to come in here and beat our guys.
Yeah.
And that's why you get this Cody win back, and Cody fucking sucks. Like come on. I mean, it's just what it is.
He had to get his win back.
I'm forgiving of some things that Cody does, but politicking and lying is Cody's bread and butter, right? And that's what he's going to be. Oh, and also,
he loves to lie.
Right. And the other thing too,
top Bryan Danielson how to lie.
Right. And I will always say this, and not that it explains it or me backpedaling in any way or anything, but like, I have Dusty Rhodes tattooed on me, and if Dusty Rhodes could book Dusty Rhodes for the world title in the main event, Dusty Rhodes would have fucking done it.
Absolutely.
So Cody learned from the best.
Yeah, Dusty versus Dusty in a 60-minute Broadway.
Right. The difference is that Dusty Rhodes was a likable guy.
Yeah, sure.
That's the difference. Yeah. And a good wrestler.
That too.
Also the difference.
That too.
Whatever. But yes, this was a great match.
Yeah, and then after the match, Lights go red.
Sure.
Lights
immediately they go red. And I'm like, the Brood's fucking here, brother.
If I would have heard that fucking intro, I would have lost it.
They got to get Gangrel out for the fucking pape.
I don't know if they will.
Yeah, Mr. F and B-in. He's got to, you know.
I would like to see like him, Edge, and Christian kind of just like have a little like run and just look at each other.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But then,
yeah,
Malachi gets hit with this thick, jelly-like substance.
It was beautiful.
He got fucking.
He sold into it.
Oh, it was so good.
I love it.
He gets the bloodbath.
Yeah,
but it was like a thick
it was awesome.
Jelly.
It looked like really good, high quality, like.
It looked like coagulated blood.
Like fake blood.
Yeah.
That you get from a Halloween store because when you put that on, you want it to stay, right? You don't want it to run off or get sweat off or whatever.
Run off
and then when they zoomed in, it was like chunky, so it did look like it was coagulating and getting like that gelatinous. It was gross. But
that ring was covered.
It was covered. So
Taz got hot over it.
It falls behind him and he sells into it.
Yeah.
He did such a good fucking job. It looks so cool. The visual of above the ring was fucking
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't know that it was. I think it's obviously it's an Edge thing. It's a Brood thing. Sure. And I liked it. But, like, there's also a little bit of turning that knife at like, Bischoff and Vinny Russo for WCW missing it with Kevin Nash.
That's one of my favorite clips of all time.
It's awesome. It's hilarious.
So
but also, like, one of those, like, massive WCW fuck-ups.
Remember when they had to tone it down with Edge and there couldn't be a bloodbath in WWE? Yeah, it was just like an oil spill.
Yeah, it was like an oil slick. Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Fucking weird.
This was awesome.
It was awesome. Yes,
and then Edge like comes out on the screen and just starts laughing. Okay, so like this makes me want to see the match.
Right. And the thing is that I want to see that same amount of blood, but actual blood in a barbed wire match between these two.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's make it happen.
Right.
Toni Storm, Mariah May against the Outcasts. Saraya
and Harley Cameron. Yeah. I didn't hate the match.
Match is okay.
But I don't understand why Toni... I mean, I do understand why Toni and Mariah are feuding with different people than who they're going to face in the pay-per-view. It's because it's going to stink. Yeah. It's because Deeb is not connecting with the crowd.
Not at all.
And it's just...
that crowd they want to cheer Toni.
Right. And I'm not even sure that Deeb is like... I used to praise her wrestling. I don't even know that I can do that anymore.
Her wrestling is still solid.
It's pretty solid.
It is.
But but there was no emotional connection whatsoever.
No,
and we've talked about Toni Storm every time. Nobody's booing her. Nobody's hit this stride like she has in this women's division. She's fucking killing it. And the hottest program for Toni Storm is going to be the inevitable turn on Mariah May, where they can have their program. Yeah. But they're still not done milking that shit. So that's not going to happen really soon, I don't think.
Nope.
But when I look at Deeb, one, I'm concerned for her health. And she just like, and it's not, I'm not saying like, oh, she's too thin. I think she looks fine. Like, there's nothing, I just like, she looks so uncomfortable that I'm like, are you battling through an illness?
Yeah.
Like, and I know that she's had some problems, like some backstage, like some health issues and injuries and stuff. But like, I just don't see this going anywhere. But I like this match. I'm not fully on the Harley Cameron train like a bunch of other people are, but she looks good.
She was penciled in for Rookie of the Year before somebody else made their debut, which we will talk about.
Right. But she looks good. Like, she's doing the stuff. You know what I mean?
I look at it as like, she is way better than I thought she was.
Absolutely. And she's not hesitating. She's committing.
Yeah.
And she's letting the better wrestlers take her to do the things she needs to do. Yeah. And honestly, a lot of times, that's enough until you know what you're doing.
Listen, you need to be a good hand.
Right.
You know?
And I will watch...
Is she the Brad Armstrong of the...
I will watch... if she comes up with her hair crimped, I will watch a Harley Cameron match 10 times out of 10 over a Saraya match.
Yeah, 100%.
And if we get Luther versus Saraya's shitty brother, I'm all in.
Well, that is true. But so after the match, Deeb like jumps Toni, and does this make you want to see this match?
No.
Not at all.
There's just, I don't know that there was anything that could be. I don't think, like we've talked about this, there's not a matchup for Toni that makes me give a shit. It's just not. Toni's too good. So I want to see Toni wrestle. I want to see what Toni's going to do.
Yeah.
But there's just not an opponent at her level. So it's tough.
I agree.
You got what I'm more interested in is ending this to see where Toni goes next.
Yeah. And shout out to Mike, you absolute psychopath.
Man of his word.
You see Toni reposted it?
Yeah, I did. A man of his word.
Respect.
And not to say I wouldn't do the same thing. I wouldn't be foolish enough to make that bet. But because it was, I felt that Toni needed to come out in that neck brace. Yeah. But a man of his word. So big respect there. Yeah, absolutely.
Wild move, man.
Absolutely.
Bryan Danielson sat him Singh as the main event. Listen, man, this ain't a match where I was like, was it good? Was it bad? It was just fun.
Right.
You know.
It is awesome.
It's fun.
It is fun professional. There's nothing wrong with fun professional wrestling.
No, there's not.
There's not a ton that, like, the build to the Anarchy in the Arena match is all the bullshit the Bucks were pulling during this show. So this match is seemingly telling a story for what Dragon's going to do after, right? So I'm completely fine with that. I like this match, man. You know,
I saw people were so overreacting when this got announced.
It's have fun.
They're going, this is it. This is the death knell. Like,
right.
Shut up.
Did not to scoop, not to ladle warmth from undertakings on Final Wrestling Place. Oh, boy. But did you see Undertaker talk about Giant Gonzalez and his matches?
I know.
He clipped it out, and he said that. He said
Tim talk about
he said that I saw Taker talk about it. I don't know if it's from this week or whatever, but he said that he was terrible.
No shit.
And said that, but he said all you have to do. He says when you bend me over, he says just hit me in the shoulder blades with that forearm. He goes, hit me as hard as you want. He goes, but just make it look real and hit me. And he goes, and every time he would club me in the back of the neck. Oh. And he goes, and I would lose feeling in my fingers. And he goes, and I would have to say, stop it. And he goes, every time we'd have to go back in the locker room because we were doing the loop. We were doing house show loops. And he goes, we'd go back and we'd sit down and I would show him. I would have somebody come over and I would take their shirt off. I would bend them over and go, shoulder blades. Hit me across the shoulder blades as hard as you want. I don't care, but stop hitting me in the neck. And they'd go out and have the match, and he'd hit me in the neck again. And he goes, and I'd go have the talk, and he'd look like he'd answer me like he was comprehending, and he was talking, and he was understanding. And we'd go out and have the match, and he'd club me in the fucking neck. And he goes, he did it the one night, and he clubbed me so hard. He goes, I had to get my fingers went numb. As soon as I got feeling back, he goes, I punched him in the face. I beat the shit out of him. He's like, because he just would not listen. He goes, we didn't have a single good match. He goes, in our entire run, we didn't have a single good fucking match.
It's like Andre with Ultimate Warrior,
right?
And CM Punk with Ryback. he's like, are you making a mistake or are you just fucking stupid?
Right. But I think a lot of people sort of have, and the reason why I bring up Giant Gonzalez, I think a lot of people have that concern about Satnam, right? Basketball player, like there's a lot of similarities there.
Sure.
I think Satnam's doing a fine fucking job of what he's doing.
For what he's doing.
He's a limited guy.
Yeah, of course. For what he's doing, it's fine.
Undertaker said that Giant Gonzalez made Great Khali look like Luthez.
Jesus Christ. Boy, and he wrestled both of them too.
Yeah.
God damn.
So, but yeah, I think Satnam does a perfectly fine job for what he's asked to do.
Yeah.
You're never going to ask him to do anything else. It's going to run out eventually, but there's nothing wrong with having a 7-foot-tall heater behind you.
The match was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And this is one of those where I'll go, listen, I know like this isn't supposed to be serious. Mm-hmm. Like this is supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to get to a
pro
point.
Wrestling.
It's a hit.
This is a clown show.
The story of this match is that the Young Bucks took out a hit.
Exactly, and like you want the big 7'4" motherfucker.
Who's most likely to hurt a guy's shoot or otherwise? It's going to be the 7 foot guy. Yeah. I like the difference in height. I like the looks. And then Jarrett Junction gets the DQ.
Dude. When Danielson got the better of him and he picks up the guitar to swing it and Satnam punches. Oh my God. I was like, yo, that was wild.
That's cool as shit. Again, he is doing exactly what's asked of him and he's doing it well. And it's probably because he has Jarrett in his ear telling him, like, this is all you have to do. Yeah. 3 fucking things. We don't need anything else out of you, dude.
So Jarrett's and then the Bucks come out and they get the better of Danielson.
Yeah.
And they're taking him up the ramp.
Well, Danielson has the advantage until Okada comes out.
Well, that's true.
He's beating them all up, and then the Rainmaker hits, and they're like, "Oh shit,
what a fucking guy!"
Yep,
and he smoked him with that Rainmaker.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going up the ramp because they're going to throw him off the edge, throw him through the table.
Yeah,
and you see it on the video screen, the Contron. Tony Khan, but you see a fucking SUV pull up.
I don't think I've ever heard it called that.
Well, it is now the Contron.
Absolutely.
And you see the door open. Out comes Darby Allin, comes walking
in
up.
an incredible fit.
That's something.
Yeah.
And they reveal Tony Khan's driving the SUV, giving the little fist bump.
Yep. It's the only man who could lift the band.
Music hits, and Darby Allin comes out with a fucking flamethrower.
So when he got out of that car, and I was like, does Darby have a gun? And I was like, Darby's not going to have a gun. And then I said, I know what that is. That's one of those bear mace rifles that Dog the Bounty Hunter uses.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, you can't run bear mace in an arena. No, everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about when they run in with the...
Of course I know.
They got the bear mace guns. And I was like, is that what they're going to threaten? And then when he came out with it on fire, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the craziest. This is so cool.
What a nutcase.
It's incredible.
I wanted him to
leather
set
pants,
someone on fire.
A pink furry jacket, and a flamethrower that he's just firing in the air like a maniac.
This was such a cool visual.
It's awesome.
And I love how scared they looked. Mm-hmm. And then they threw Nick Jackson off the stage from that table.
And he fucked his rib up or something.
Yeah, he had a big scrape.
Yeah.
I did laugh when he yells out, "What's wrong with you, you perverts?"
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's screaming at the camera, "No!" Like, I was like, all right, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But just, the visual of Danielson holding a chair high and Darby on the throne.
It's incredible.
A fucking flame
It's incredible. Right.
I was like, yo, this is awesome.
Absolutely.
So Tony, in his press call today, they asked, oh, like, when did you know about Darby being cleared? And he goes, I called Darby to see how he was doing. And Darby goes, yeah, I'm doing good. If you need me to replace Eddie, I got you. And he goes, I didn't even ask. And he goes, no, I got you. Don't worry about it. He goes,
he's a crazy person.
He goes, I'm good enough. We can do it.
He is going to do something so fucking stupid.
Yeah. And then they said that I guess you have to have, and this could have been Tony bullshitting, you have to have a permit to, like, fire a flamethrower. And he goes, Darby just so happened to have a permit for a flamethrower.
You know what? I believe that.
Yeah. So he's like, Darby has a flamethrower.
Right.
I thought it was such a fucking cool thing.
Yeah.
I wish we would have lit somebody on fire.
Right?
Who's going to light on fire?
I think somebody's going to end up on fire at Anarchy in the Ring. You're going to have to.
Jack Perry's going to
light on fire. Hair. I don't know.
Jack Perry's going to light on fire.
All right. I'm
you
fine
ain't touching my sweet boy. Oh, God.
That's true. You ain't risking a burn there.
Yeah. That actually leads us to...
So, hold on. Answer the question. Yes, that hypes me up for the fucking pay-per-view.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, they better fucking deliver.
Yeah. I think, and when they do.
Anarchy in the Arena always does deliver. Yeah. I agree with that.
And it's like 5-year anniversary of the company, like kind of.
Double or nothing, yeah.
So it's a big one.
That's where Moxley showed up, man.
Yeah. It's a big one. So
love that, man.
And the triple main event is odd. A lot of people bashing that. But it's fine. Whatever. You got to hype your matches. It's got to be the world title match. Anarchy Arena, I'm sure, is going to close the show because it's the spectacle.
Yeah.
I do typically like your world champion on last, but there's a spectacle here.
Sometimes,
And so...
It's how to do it different.
Mercedes Willow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, neither of them were on the show last night.
Well, yeah, Willow... Right. So they're probably going to have a big moment on Collision, I would imagine.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Maybe not. I mean, hopefully they would do something, maybe, but who knows. Are you hopeful for this match?
I don't know if Sasha works Saturdays,
right?
Brother.
Are you hopeful for this match?
To a point.
Okay.
My expectations are tempered.
So
I think. I mean, I don't know.
The closer it gets, the less I'm convinced that Sasha has to win.
Good. That makes me happy.
But I'm not hopeful. But my bigger problem is that, and I saw Sasha was working out and training, but like, what's she gonna do? Is she gonna be able to do that? Like, this has to be a big match.
I'm sure she's already had her full training matches.
Right. Right. No, yeah, I know. Doubt. But like, she's gonna have to deliver.
Yeah.
And like, Willow always delivers.
Sure.
And like, honestly, from last week, the segment with the Dr. Bomb through the table, that was a yes. That made me more excited for that match, right? It's weird to have nothing for a week, but Willow was in Stardom, which we'll talk about and whatever. But I'm concerned for Sasha, for Mercedes, and I'm a Mercedes. We're fans. I think she's a very talented wrestler. I hate her fucking finish.
Yeah, that can't happen.
And I mean, I don't know why she's just use the fucking bank statement to hold, because you're having a hard time, hitting this move on people who are a similar stature to Sasha.
She couldn't even hit it on Kairi Sane.
Right. It's going to be tough.
She ain't going to hit it on Willow.
Right. And like, Willow is an incredibly great wrestler. Like, I really like Willow, but that finish sucks. And I don't care how good your match is. If your finish is doo-doo, people are going to be upset about it.
Absolutely. One of the things that Vince always said was they remember the finish.
I'm glad you brought up Vince first, because I'm going to bring up Vince later. And that way you brought him up first, so I'm absolved from any crimes.
Okay.
But I got my briefcase full of money. What are we doing? You done? You done with Dynamite?
All right. Okay. Yeah. We do have a question, though, from Mr. Tim Z. Taylor.
Tim, the tailor-made man.
And now the Tim Taylor question of the week.
All right. So, Tim from Final Wrestling Place.
Yes.
My dog.
And viewer's choice for maybe a temporary amount of time.
I'll give you the Iggy later.
Okay.
Tim says, question time. In honor of Darby Allin bringing a flamethrower to a fist fight,
Absolutely.
what are some of your favorite unconventional wrestling weapons? And is there a weapon you'd love to see used as a foreign object that isn't normally used? Yes. A gun.
Okay.
Shoot him with a gun.
All right. Okay. I mean, it's happened before. Just
Shoot
not in
him
a
with
ring.
a knife.
Shoot him with a knife. Exactly.
Stab him with a gun.
Stab him with a gun. Doug, the prototype.
Waiting, Doug.
So
Pitchfork gun.
So there's a very famous one that I'll bring up here. Again, for me, just my circle of friends. But when we were in the VCW, as fans of the VCW that didn't make money, there was a fans bring the weapons match, and we brought two things that I remember. One was a TV that we found on the side of the road that they did not let us bring in. They deemed it too difficult, like too dangerous, and also for like the people around.
How dare they?
And the other thing is, and I still have it. It is a headless Ken doll with a fork taped to it. Now you've used a fork. People have used a fork before. I think a fork's a great weapon. A little unconventional these days. Maybe not. I guess not because Nikki uses the pizza cutter and
Homicide still uses
Homicide uses the fork. It is a fork taped to a Ken doll. So that is a weapon that I still have in the house in the basement there. That is a relic that will stay with me forever. I think not necessarily a weapon, but an object that hit a wrestler during a match that was unconventional was that time Terry Funk got kicked by a horse. That's a good one.
Sure was.
And a guy who I think doesn't get the credit so much anymore. But Mr. Pogo's little scythe, his little hand scythe is a cool...
Because it looked like he was going to legit cut your head off.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
I like that.
Yeah.
So my favorite unconventional wrestling weapon, I don't know if it gets used a lot anymore. I don't know. I'm not up on my death matches. I always liked the cheese grater.
Yeah.
I always thought that looked fucking...
I think the cheese grater's been replaced with the gusset plate. I think people use gussets more than anything now.
Yeah. I don't know, an old-fashioned cheese grater, you know?
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
Looks like you're legit peeling skin. Good times. Also, the weed whacker.
I figured that's where you were going to go.
That's still one of the fucking gnarliest things.
One of the most talked about, like, deathmatch indie wrestling spots of all time is the weed whacker in Nick Mondo.
Yeah.
Just a crazy spot, super gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's see, is there a weapon you'd love to see used as a foreign object that isn't normally used? I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
The kitchen sink.
Well, I was going to say like a toilet seat. But and people have used that before.
But not used all the time.
Not all the time.
You think your standards are like chairs,
tables, ladders,
ladders,
chairs, Singapore cane,
barbed wire at this point.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like some fucked up Japanese shit.
Yeah.
Glass all the time. Tubes get used a
right.
lot.
Yeah, none of that.
Used on national TV.
Right. Thumbtacks is a pretty common one.
Yeah, that's common.
The chain is a pretty common one these days.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. I love a good somebody getting whipped with the weight belt.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Strap.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because when the apple pie strap match.
Yeah, when it leaves the welts on,
sure.
oh man, they
remember when Cody took those
from Rock.
Yep. So
yeah. Unconventional.
Or no, Cody took them from MJF and AEW. Was that?
And then he took them from Rock.
Oh yeah,
too.
and then he did take them from Rock. Yeah, crazy.
Unconventional hot sauce.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
A little hot sauce action to the eyes.
All right.
You can gimmick it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Make it look like your eyes are burning. You're blinding somebody.
You know what I want? That you could probably gimmick.
Lemons into the open wounds.
Ooh, that's a good one too. That you could probably gimmick up. And we've talked about it. And you know what? I think they kind of did it with Orange Cassidy, right? Kickboxer style, fists dipped in glass.
Oh, the old Taipei.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
And just do like the back fist, the belly scratch. Like they did something like that with Orange Cassidy at one point, didn't they?
They did. He dipped it for the orange punch, I think.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't it against Moxley, maybe?
I don't know. But I would like the little Taipei just roll it, crush the glass bottles, roll it, and do that. That'd be a cool one too.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for the question.
Yeah, Tim, man. Tailor-made man.
So before we go to Japan,
Yes.
speaking of men that dip their fists in their taped up fists into glue and then glass.
Okay.
Terry Funk wants you to introduce you to two of his friends that have his back.
He's got a couple of men.
Therefore, at this time, I introduce to you former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, former ECW Television Champion, Terry Funk. Cut the music! I want to talk to you, Styles! Where did you get such a gorgeous tie?
I just picked it up. It's nothing special, really.
Well, let me tell you something, Styles. Is I am having a problem. Because as you know, and the indie people know, I'm talking about the independence of the nation today, and I am king of the indies, and the king of the indies says I am going to have a problem on December the 26th because I am going up against Sabu in a one-on-one struggle, but there's only one problem because I have got lots of enemies. And what enemies am I talking about? I've got Road Warrior Hawk. He's liable to be coming in from behind me. I've got Abdul the Butcher. He's liable to try to sneak into the ring. I've got Kevin Sullivan. He might come after me. And I've got King Kong Bundy. Now another problem with that match is this. And that problem is that Sabu will try to run out of the ring on me. So all I need is a few good men. Do you understand me? Unfortunately, you could never be one of them because I don't think you could ever be a man. But I've got a couple of good men, and I want to hear the music. Start the music! Start the music! Play the music! Because look at them. Look at these bodies. These aren't WWF wrestlers. No, sirree, they're not. These are wrestlers straight from the 60s. A case of beer a night. Look at those derbies on these boys. What I tell them to do, they'll do. If I tell them to throw Sabu back in the ring, they will. If I tell them to climb this top rope right over here, dive off onto the head on the floor, they will. Climb the rope! Climb the rope! Climb the rope! See, they do as I say. Now, if I told him to dive, he'd dive. Don't do it! Don't do it! Come back down! Come back down! Don't do it! You see, this man will always do as I say.
All right.
What are we doing? Where are we at?
We're in Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, just like we always are.
Yes, because we don't really travel.
Those weekly
elsewhere.
tickets, they're really racking up the mileage.
Boy, our Sky Miles are through
that's
the
right.
roof. I got 1 billion Sky Miles.
What are we doing? Where are we starting?
3 different promotions I watched from Japan this week.
Let me 1, 2, 3. I watched 4.
Yeah.
Let me get New Japan out of the way real quick
Go
because
ahead,
you didn't watch
I
it.
didn't watch anything.
So they had like 3 or 4 nights of the Super Juniors, and they've all been
stinky poopy.
Yeah, they haven't been lighting the world on fire in any capacity.
They've all been shit from a butt.
Francisco Akira got hurt. He's missing the rest of the tournament. That stinks. That seems to happen every year these days.
Yep.
But I watched 2 matches. I watched Hiromu Takahashi versus Ninja Mac. 9 minutes it didn't matter really. The funniest thing about this was they started the match wrestling on their knees and like did the lock up and everything from their knees. I don't know why.
So they're being silly boys.
Sure.
Okay.
But the other match I watched was Kushida versus Ishimori. Because I love Kushida and I like Ishimori. And I noticed that this match went 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
Boy.
The entrances were 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Because I timed it. So it was good. Like, in that 2.5 minutes, like, they're killing it. And then Kushida grabs, a head scissor, and they're on the ground, and the referee from behind Kushida, without a clear view of the shoulders, counts a 1, 2, 3, and ends the match. But Kushida has a head scissor on Ishimori, so Ishimori's shoulders are impossible pretty much to be down.
Yeah.
And he's kicking out the whole time. It's very weird. I don't know if it was meant to be the finish, because there's no like screw job angles, not House of Torture or anything.
Was that ref trying to fuck on Ishimori?
I think the referee was trying to fuck on Ishimori.
Wow.
I don't know.
How dare you?
Ishimori was clearly like just kicking out the whole time, but I guess it's just that Kushida got the better of him and held his shoulders down. It's very confusing to me.
That's weird.
But the match, like the 2.5 minutes, like they full on going like crazy, and I was like, "This is cool."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the hell happens in the 2.5 minutes?" And I was like, "I can get like a little trap finish or whatever." But this one, it wasn't the right move to do it if that was the intention. And I swear to God, the ref didn't have a clear view of the shoulder, so I don't know how he counted 3. I have no idea. But that's it. That was it. That's all. Literally all to report about the Super Juniors. I think the best rated match on Cage Match, which again doesn't matter, it's just easy, was Hiromu versus Ninja Mac, and it was fine. It was good.
Yeah.
Nothing to write home about. Ninja Mac did his shit. He's an impressive dude. Hiromu looks real good. Whatever. But yeah, the best Super Juniors. And I don't think I'm surprised by this in any way. I don't think either of us are surprised that it hasn't been great. It usually isn't.
But that's not true.
I mean, the last couple of years, it's
been good.
That's true. I guess it's hit or miss, but usually the good guys are consistently good. And there's not a ton. Despi's having okay stuff. Like everybody is big mad online. All the House of Torture stuff is carried over in this too, and it's been terrible apparently. People have been zeroing, putting zeros.
I refuse
on like Cage Match and stuff. So, but not lighting the world on fire. Not really anything worth reporting this week from Best of Super Juniors. But I did watch it, and I just wanted to bring up that the entrances to Kushida Ishimori was a whole half a minute longer than the match itself.
Kind of respect that.
Yeah.
All right. So Pro Wrestling Noah yesterday held their
we're
One
going
Night
here.
Dream 2.
Yes. Right. Good job.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
One Night Dream 2.
Yep.
So I know we both watched 2 matches.
Yes. If I had more time, I would have watched the Great Sakuya wrestle, but But she did throw a miss.
I meant, because last night I was out running around. By the time I finished Dynamite when I got home, I was like, I'm going to bed.
You're a busy man. Man about town.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, during my day today, like if I have some downtime, I'll watch, watch it. And I didn't really have a ton of downtime. It was like the end, it was like probably, I don't know, quarter after 3:30. I went, oh, fuck, I got shit to watch. So thankfully, in the last hour of my work, I accomplished this.
And we were kind of both waiting for this DDT like anniversary special show to come up. It didn't pop up till today, so I don't even know if we'll talk about it. But I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch a couple matches on it at least. But
so 2 matches that we both.
Yes.
Tomohiro Ishii. Versus Masaki Miya.
A run back from earlier in the year. January 2nd, they had a match that is on my match of the year list so far. And this is sort of the run back of that. Kitamiya has been calling Ishii out. And they have a fucking banger, man. I don't think it's as good as the one earlier in the year.
I don't know, man. This crowd,
but this was really good. The Kurikan is that might be the best wrestling venue in the world.
Yeah,
I think it's the best. It is the mecca for me if I ever get to go there.
I'd love to go there.
But I think it is one of the best wrestling venues. If not
that,
the
or
best
else like the
wrestling venue
Nippon Budokan would be badass.
But yeah, so Ishii, Kitamiya, a mirror image fighting each other.
Dude, it's so cool.
My boys.
Ishii's 48. Kitamiya's 35.
Right. And they fucking go for it. Ishii is treated with the respect in Noah that he should be treated with in New Japan by the fans and the fucking company.
I'm so happy you said that because I would like to see Ishii win the GHC heavyweight
When
title.
I was watching this match, I was like, do that.
Yep. Give him a month.
Right. Put the GHC. And I don't want to knock out Kiyomiya's title reign already. Well, but Noah's going to do that soon enough.
Yeah.
Put that straight. Why not? Put it on Ishii. I think people would fucking love it.
Yeah.
Give Ishii that title that he fucking deserves. But anyway, so this match is exactly what you think it was going to be.
Absolutely.
They're very much cut from the same cloth. They are both Riki Choshu, Tenryu guys, Masa Saito guys.
Short, stocky, mean.
The way wrestlers like Kitamiya is the way I think wrestlers should look. I've said this before. He has, to me, the optimum. If he was taller, it'd be absolutely perfect. But like, he's built like a little bit like a shrunken down Scott Norton. It is the optimum body for a bruiser of a wrestler. He's strong as shit, barrel chested with a belly. No definition on that belly. You don't fucking need it. He's a badass. He wrestles in the little
smooth belly,
the little high waiter, fucking long tights.
Which he used to wrestle in as a young man.
Absolutely, with just says Japan down the fucking side like Masa Saito. These two, there's elbows. There are fucking chops.
There
are brain busters.
Shit out of each other.
But then there is headbutts.
Hey, Masa Kitamiya.
Yeah,
I'm real happy you're doing shoot headbutts, brother.
He gets the blood trickle from a shoot headbutt.
It's so cool.
They headbutt each other a whole bunch, and the one he takes, and it's just the blood comes, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, this rules.
Right. Your brain's gonna get taken out.
Well,
but it's man shit.
That's what I have to do sometimes for this business.
Right. It's man shit. It's Dude Rock's shit.
It's grown man shit.
So run it back. Do it again. Yeah. Ishii wins. Kitamiya has already said
that brain buster he hits is
sick.
Gross.
Kitamiya has already said I'm going to keep facing him until I beat him.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. Do it. Run it 5 years.
Absolutely. Take it all over the world, actually.
Right. I said run it back until Kitamiya wins and then they become a tag team.
Oh,
that's what I want.
Okay. All right.
That's what I want.
And then they absolutely crush Anthony Green and Jack Morrison with the GHC tag
Absolutely.
I'm in.
And then Ishii wins the GHC, the big title, and then it's like when Misawa and Ogawa were tag champs and Misawa was the GHC champion. But
somebody got brought along the ride for that one.
Absolutely. His name was Misawa.
How dare you?
I know. Where's Zebra Print? It was a Zebra Print that did it. So
that's what it was.
There's a thing in this match, and I had an idea here. And I briefly mentioned this to you off air, and I said, oh no, I'm going to talk about this on air. I don't know if he's listening. He's a busy man. He's on the road. He's making towns. He's making money. But if Pig Daddy Cool's listening, if the Boar is listening, if Razorback Ramon happened to tune in this week, I want you to do something. And I know that you have a technical wrestling tournament coming up.
She does.
And people say the Boar's not a technical wrestler.
I already know what you're going to say.
The Boar, people say all the time, the Boar doesn't grab a hold. The Boar's not a technical wrestler. The Boar is a pure powerhouse, right? It's a lower body business, babe. Here's what I want.
Body business.
Here's what I want for the Boar. It's a lower body business. Wow. You ever see them ham hocks?
It's true.
So, look at them ham hocks.
Look at the size of that ham hock.
But here's what I want, Boar. And listen, call me up. I'll send you video. I'll send you tape. You need to use the prison lock. And Brett is nodding in approval.
Absolutely, because it's the coolest thing that you apply pressure by flexing your muscles.
Exactly.
It's the coolest thing in the world.
And here's the thing. It's a leg lock.
Double bicep that applies more pressure.
Right.
It's so cool.
It leaves the upper body open.
Oh, it's so cool.
So you can throw some chops. You can take some chops.
Sure, but if you want to apply pressure,
but imagine the prison lock is on.
Oh.
And we've all seen the Boar's entrances. What does he do? The fists come down, right? And the crowd yells, Boar!
Sure.
Boar! You're in the prison lock? And that guy is screaming?
Yeah.
And you start going, Boar!
Mm-hmm.
Boar! Boar! It's going to hurt him more.
It's so cool.
It's the perfect submission hold for you.
It's so perfect.
It's the absolute perfect submission hold. Do it.
Yeah.
I'll send you tape.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's the perfect time.
He flexes and it hurts.
Right.
More. It's so cool.
It's the perfect submission hold for the Boar. Everybody's stealing shit all the time. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want. Look up The Prison Lock by Masaki Tamiya. Steal that shit.
It's pretty badass.
It'll be fucking cool.
Badass shit, bro.
Trust me, just fucking do it.
He flexes and it makes the hold tighter.
Right.
What's cooler than that?
Right.
Oh, it's so cool.
Absolutely. So,
but this match is fucking a banger.
Great.
I will watch this match every time it happens.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be great.
Absolutely. No complaints from me whatsoever about Ishii versus Kitamiya.
No. Second match,
yes.
And it was the main event of the show.
Sure was.
Keno versus Minoru Suzuki.
Yep.
DJ,
yes.
This match reminded me why Minoru Suzuki is the most terrifying human being on this earth.
Right. So there's some people on this network, there's some people around the world that like it, but like to say, oh, we're just getting the Minoru Suzuki match. Suzuki's just going to come and run his match.
Listen, brother.
Say the same thing about Ishii.
If you give me a fucking ribeye every time, I'm going to eat the ribeye, okay?
But I will tell you that this is not just the normal Suzuki match.
No.
I see people saying this is the best Suzuki match in years.
I would say years, but I will say it's the best he's had in a while.
This is almost half an hour.
Yeah, it's 26 minutes.
Him and Keno go fucking crazy. And they do so much more than he normally does.
Yeah.
It opens up. Keno is wearing a Kaze ni no Rei t-shirt.
A pink one.
And he tries to tear it. You cut that thing, brother. Just put a little snip in the collar.
But I loved it because it's like, even the announcers are putting it over like, that's great quality. Right. Great quality shirt. But Suzuki's laughing.
He throws it at Suzuki, and Suzuki neatly folds it and throws it into the crowd, which then at the end of the match, Keno tries to get back. He wants his shirt back.
Yep.
But Suzuki gets a chair thrown at his head right away in this 5 minutes in, maybe.
Yeah.
And he gets busted open for real. And
boy, does this turn it up a notch.
He does the rest of this match like a serial killer.
Yeah.
It is gushing. It is down. It flows
down the chest.
He's constantly having to wipe it away from his eyes.
Yeah.
It's running down because it's on the side of his head. It's running down the side of his head into his eyes, down his chest. He looks like a car crash victim for most of this match until they work so hard that he sweats it all off and it closes.
Yep.
Insane.
Because he's an insane person.
Insane.
So when he like snaps after this happens, and they do like a 5 minute around the ring, him just beating the shit out of Keno.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the most terrifying human person.
Absolutely. Human person.
Human being I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
The way that he would go to the crowd and just like shoves fans out of their chairs to get the chairs.
He looks like a psychopath.
It's nuts, dude.
It's absolutely crazy. The visual of him with that blood and smiling is crazy.
And laughing.
Yeah. And then he has, and listen, I love the Suzuki standard match.
Absolutely.
I will watch it forever.
Forever.
But like something happened. I don't know if it's Noah and the fact that he has his history there, or the fans feeding into it, or the fact that he got some adrenaline from getting fucking busted.
The crowd was red hot when that happened.
But like, I don't know if it's the blood flow, whatever it is. They have a fucking killer match. Killer match. We all know Keno has these.
Yeah.
We know Minoru has had these his entire fucking career. Yeah. They crush this match. And like we're down on Noah as a company. I think everyone kind of is. They're not finding their voice, but now they're bringing in the like mixing company and stuff. They putting Kitamiya as the champion is the right move. But this main event, like Keno, sort of the newer stalwart, the 3-time GHC champion, against the returning guy where Suzuki, the company where Suzuki-gun was founded,
now,
like all that.
Keno's wearing silver.
Right. Suzuki is a former JC champion.
Sure.
And they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
They're sweating. Like, they worked harder in this 26 minutes. I've seen people working an hour long. Like, they're just beating the piss out of each other. This match fucking rules.
Dude, when Keno
it is everything.
hits the foot stomp to Suzuki's back,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was fucking gross.
Absolutely.
I go, that's a 55-year-old man
Mm-hmm.
taking a foot stomp to the back like that.
Right.
And it just looks like he annihilates
Some would
him
say
with it.
Suzuki took more bumps than he needed to, and that may be true. But goddamn, did it count?
When that blood started flowing, oh my God.
A different level happened.
It just took it up another level.
It really did.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was like a, like it happened. Suzuki was like, this is what we're doing, motherfucker.
Right?
Because that wasn't supposed to happen. He got clipped by that chair. He caught a corner. Sorry, Cricket must have had an edge.
When he wipes the blood from his brow and like, licks it off of his hand.
Insane, dude.
You're a crazy person.
Insane.
You're nuts.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Incredible
I love
match.
Suzuki.
I was watching this just giddy.
Yeah, me too.
Just on my couch, just giddy. Just giggling at the violence.
I was watching on my phone today. I'm just
giggling. You're T-Heeing?
Oh, it's T-Heeing, brother.
You're T-Heeing. Biggie got cast in a TV show. Good for Big E.
I saw it. I missed that, man.
Yeah, me too. But I'm glad he's doing well. But anyway,
awesome shit.
Oh, such a good match.
Boy, if this was Noah all the time.
I know, right?
Brother.
Incredible stuff. Really fucking killed it, Noah.
Great shit. I agree.
Great 2 matches. Maybe the rest of the card was good. I don't know. Didn't have time.
No. These 2 were
right. But worth the price of admission alone. Sign up for WrestleView Universe for a fucking month. Yeah. Watch these 2 matches. You've already made your money.
I agree.
Absolutely.
1,000,000%.
Absolutely.
So, next show we'll talk about was...
Joshi Mania time.
Yeah. Stardom Flash of Champions.
Yes.
So, I watched 1, 2, 3, 4 matches.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but we don't have to talk about all of them, so I'll let you lead.
Okay.
Dude, I genuinely, we're going to talk Marigold next. I have the most fun right now watching Joshi wrestling over anything else.
100%.
I'm in the groove. I think the Joshi's in the groove. Tokyo Joshi Pro, Stardom, now Marigold.
Yeah.
I always look like I saw that Stan Hansen's favorite wrestler, is wrestling for Sendai Girls. You is wrestling for Sendai Girls. So that's there. There's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Stanson.
But so much fun watching Joshi. I'm just a Joshi boy. Joshi boy. But so Stardom Flashing Champions.
Yes.
What's the first thing you watched?
I watched Crazy Star.
Okay.
Which is Mai Sierra and Suzu Suzuki.
This is the first thing I watched as well.
Going up against Starlight Kid, who's no longer dark.
Right.
And Natsupoi.
Yes.
My boy.
Because we're a couple of Natsu boys.
Yeah, that's a
She's
fact.
back from injury. She kicks ass still.
Yeah, so this goes 15 minutes,
Yep.
and it's a draw.
Yeah.
The old Rossi Ogawa special.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I think if you are an American wrestler and you aren't watching this match and stealing 75% of it, you're fucking stupid. That's what I think.
This is another one where it's just 15 minutes of just pure balls to the wall,
right,
front to back, no breaks. Yep. It's so good.
Starlight Kid does a schoolboy into a stretch muffler, which was beautiful. And then
from her time teaming with Desperado.
Mai Sierra does a lung blower senton move to both opponents.
It was cool.
She has the one opponent's on the ground. She's standing over. She picks her up, lung blower and a senton at the same time. Steal that shit.
Yeah.
This match is full of cool double team combos and moves. Steal them all. Just do it. Fucking do it.
Yep.
There's so much innovation in Joshi right now. Like you said, this match becomes a draw. Tons of fun. Just so much fun. 4 ladies that can fucking tear it down no matter who they're in there with. Loved it. Absolutely fucking loved it.
Suzu Suzuki, boy, next up, as the kids say.
Yeah.
I love Suzu.
Next up for a year. I think she's going to catch
remember
one.
last year? I thought they were going to kind of pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, which is okay.
Just a couple big ones I didn't think she should have. But
Suzu's so good.
Yep, so good.
The next one that I watched was The Best Friends. Arisa Nakajima and Tsukasa Fujimoto.
Not the next one I watched.
What would you watch?
I watched Rina and one of my favorites, Fukushima Death. and Azusa Inaba versus another one of all of our favorites, Mina Shirakawa. She's our friend. Can't not watch it.
It's true.
Waka Tsukuyama.
Okay.
And Xena. This was fun. Not as good as the other one. The reason why I don't bring it up is two things. Xena does a gory special while putting the other her other opponent in like the pendulum submission where they stand over and like swing them between the legs. Looked really cool. But Odatai, the team of Odatai, has a pin taunt where they do a group pin and pretend to rip heaters while they're pinning them.
It's my favorite stable.
Hilarious. But anyway, that's all you say about that. But yes, Eye Contact, is that the name of the other team? That's what I have listed here. I copy and pasted from a recap site.
Okay.
And they said Mayu Iwatani and Hanan are called Eye Contact.
That's news to me. I just have Hanan and Mayu Iwatani.
I don't know if it's
written
true,
down.
but that's what this site called them.
Sure.
Was Eye Contact versus Best Friends.
Yeah.
Which is
not Chucky T and Trent.
Tsukasa Fujimoto and Arisa Nakajima.
Yeah. So I believe Tsukasa Fujimoto, are they in Ice Ribbon? And Arisa Nakajima is in Sendai Girls, I believe
so, yes.
But yeah, against Hanan, who a lot of people are like trying to crown as like the next ace of stardom.
Yeah.
And then Mayu Iwatani.
Hanan's impressed us every time I think we've watched.
Yeah. I'm not completely sold.
Yeah. Well, when you're tagging with Mayu Iwatani, it's hard to let it stand out.
Mayu Iwatani is just the fucking best, man. Mayu gets her shit kicked in this match.
Sure does.
She gets a boot right to the face and gets a nice little shiner, a little blood.
Yep.
Yeah. What'd you think of it? I thought it was very good.
I thought it was really good.
Another good tag
match. I didn't expect Mayu and Hanan to lose.
Yeah, me neither.
Interesting that happened. I guess to try and bring some unity. There's been rumors of more Joshi crossover. Yeah. Now that things have changed, that like Stardom and Tokyo Joshi Pro might start crossing over a little bit, and clearly this is Ice Ribbon and Sendai and whatever.
Which is weird because Marigold airs on Wrestle Universe.
Yes.
But I don't think they're owned by Cyberfight. No. It's just Rossi.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever. I think he just worked up an agreement to get himself, get the promotion started and get rolling.
Makes sense.
That's fine. Fine by me. But I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
Again, super talented, hard hitting, lots of talented ladies out there. It's just crazy. Again, if you're not watching the Joshi tag matches and stealing it as a tag team, you're stupid. It's just what you are. You really need to. You need to. Just do it. Just steal shit. Who cares? You and I are the only people who watch these matches. It's not true, but.
No. TBS title match. Willow Nightingale.
Yes.
Against Tam Nakano.
Yes.
Who loves you.
Yes, she does. She loves me.
Yeah.
She told me so.
I thought it was okay.
It was good.
I didn't think it was like anything knock your socks off.
Yeah.
I thought Willow looked really good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said this online too. It was like not that Willow doesn't put in a full effort, but it felt like Willow was really taking it serious.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. I didn't think it was as great as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, sure. I thought it was a really good match. It's not bad by any level.
Man, Willow hitting that fucking doctor bomb is so
Willow
sick,
worked, like, and you said, like, people saying, like, she put in the work here. She worked for the first time, like, true powerhouse. Yeah. Like, she was full on Lady Haas in it in this one. Like, just everything was power moves. There wasn't much else. And I'm not sure what the crowd was feeling necessarily. It's not that they didn't like it, but I think maybe they're not as familiar. And I'm glad she was there. I thought she looked good.
Yeah, because I don't think Willow's worked Stardom in Japan before. No, she's worked Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Yeah,
but not Stardom.
But my main takeaway was just that she just worked pure powerhouse.
Yeah,
there was nothing else to her offense. And normally, like, she's a little more fun, a little cuter. And I think because she's a gaijin coming in against the pretty big fan favorite in Tam, that she just, like, it wasn't heel work, but it was just like...
It was like a different style than
she definitely worked a little different than she works on AWTV.
Which is okay.
Which was awesome. I really enjoyed watching her work Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Like, just all of it was all power moves. There was nothing else.
No.
And I like Tam a lot. But yeah, I think... Obviously, we all wanted it to be a giant, huge, crazy match, especially if this ends up being like Willow's only defense of this fucking title or whatever. But I'm glad she was there. I hope it opens up doors. And I think Willow could have some other really great matches all over the place. And I thought this was still very good. But yeah, a little I don't think it knew quite which groove it needed to catch to get going.
I agree with that.
But it was still good, and still good to see Willow out there in the world because she fucking deserves it.
So the main event, I'm very curious to see how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
The Wonder of Stardom title, the white belt.
Mm-hmm.
Saori now the champ going up against the challenger Ami Sarai.
Okay.
It was like a getting weird. Either you loved it or hated it online. I saw.
I know exactly why.
So, I liked it.
Me too.
I liked it. It was more like hard hitting, which I think you and I like. Hey, the stiffer is the more we like it.
Saori Anou got the shit kicked out of her in this match.
Yeah,
she got beaten
when she was up like tied up in the ropes, just getting the shit chopped out of her. It was awesome.
She gets put in a torture rack, a twisting brainbuster, into a fucking Rikishi driver, and she still kicks out.
Yeah,
and then she pulls a poison rod out of nowhere. I know why it's controversial and why people are like yes or no.
What do you think?
Because the finish sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't a good finish.
It's because they worked so hard and so fast that when the finish came around, they were both exhausted. Yeah. So the finish had no snap to it. It was meant to be sort of an out of nowhere, the lady who's getting the shit kicked out of her the whole time pulls one out, but they did not have the energy to make it a surprise, so it fell flat. And I think a lot of times, and you said it before, like, people only remember the finish sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes it sort of a was it good, wasn't it kind of thing. I think it was really good. It didn't ruin it for me, but I was like, that's the finish. That seems they were just sort of like, I'm exhausted. Let's just get out of this.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't an exciting finish. Yeah, but I thought the match was really good.
The match was, I agree with that. I think that's a very good observation. Mm-hmm. So.
Thank you.
Marigold.
This is the big one of this week, right?
Marigold Fields Forever. So this was your debut show. Right.
The talk of the town, if you will.
Yeah, supposedly over 1,500 people were there.
Okay.
Korakuen was packed.
It was packed, yes.
Which I was like, man, they don't do this for Tokyo Joshi.
No.
It's like, first show, a lot of big names, a lot of hype.
Right. Tons of hype.
So I watched the whole card.
Me too. Had to get a feel for what was going on.
Yeah.
The names I didn't know. You know, let's see what's going on.
So, first match, Nene Takahashi.
Old Nene.
Going up against Victoria Yuzuki.
Yes.
Nene wins in about 14 minutes. Mm-hmm. You texted me, I forget, Wednesday night, Tuesday night, whatever. And you said, boy, shoot frog splash, eh?
She did it. So we know Nene. She's one of the followers from Stardom that came over.
One of the founders of Stardom.
Yeah.
And I think they even pointed out one of the last bridge gaps to All Japan Women.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nene's a shit kicker.
Yeah.
Right? Nene. Older, old comparatively to the rest of the Joshi.
Yeah.
But she's a shit kicker, right? So we knew what she was going to deliver. Victoria Yuzuki we haven't seen. And she looked good.
They said that she was a trainee at Stardom.
Okay, interesting. So I think she looks good up until she slips off the ropes.
Yes, agreed.
And I appreciate Nene acting like she pulled her off and trying to cover.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work, but I appreciate that. Lesser wrestlers would be like, "What the fuck?" I like the English commentary. While I do have an issue with it, I like that they had it. Mm-hmm. But what I will say for this whole show, and I'll get it out of the way now because you brought up Vince McMahon earlier, pronouns, pal. As American commentators on a show of Japanese women that people are watching for the first time. This is the first Marigold show. Has a lot of wrestlers we haven't seen. They were not using their names enough.
Oh, okay.
They were using
I didn't really know
they were
this.
using she's and hers a lot.
Okay.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But they should have been more mindful on we haven't seen a lot of these people before. So hammer us who these people are. Because if I like somebody, I want to know who it is.
Well, but they were doing the Noah deal.
They were.
Flashing up their name and the stats on the bottom of the screen,
yes. But I would rather them use the names a little more than just, she hit him. She hit her real hard. It's tough. Oh, what a move out of her. It's a little tough. But anyway, Yuzuki kicks Nene in the face for real at one point in this match, which I think is a bad idea for Nene. I think I actually think this was a great opener for the show.
I do agree with that.
I think it really set the tone. It set the tone. It set the pace. There's a couple little slip ups, but it's just what it is. But Nene hits that fucking frog splash. Everybody loves Nene. She knows she's a carryover. She's great to put in this first slot because people know her. And you know that, like, you're trying to establish yourself as separate from Stardom. A lot of talk about who was going to jump and who wasn't.
Sure.
And Nene is fan favorite enough that you put her out here first with a youngin, and she makes them look good, and they have a good match here. I thought this was a really good opener.
I do agree. Second match was Miku Aono. If I pronounce anything wrong, I apologize. Going up against Nao Ishikawa.
Yep.
It goes about 9 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just screenshotted the whole card because I was like, I'm just going to talk about it. Miku Aono gets the win.
Do you know anything about these ladies?
So I don't.
Okay.
Me either.
I
know, and I'll give credit to Mike. He kind of tried to give a little bit of background. They come from I think it's like Act Girls. I think that's the name of it. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. So when Marigold got announced, it was like the Stardom people got announced for it, and then these Act Rest girls, whatever it is, a lot of them came over too, and just for Marigold. So I'm not familiar with a lot of them.
So do you know anything about them after watching this match?
Not necessarily.
I think they might hate each other.
Yeah, okay. All right, that angle. All right. I thought it was personal or something.
They did not seem to like one another.
Well, that's good.
As opponents, and they hit each other really hard. Mm-hmm. That's basically the thing. They beat the shit out of each other in this match, which I liked a lot. And then Miku Aono hits a Styles Clash for the win.
Sure did.
And I was like, I'm impressed by these two. I'm a fan. I like them. They beat the piss out of each other.
Nao Ishikawa, thumbs up.
Yay.
By the way.
Thumbs up.
Yep.
Big thumbs up.
So, next one. I'm actually familiar with these two.
Okay. Yes.
Mirai.
Oh, you know Chiaki?
I do know Chiaki.
Oh, okay. I don't know Chiaki.
So the one match that I watched of someone we'll talk about later, their opponent in the match was Chiaki.
Okay.
Mirai versus Chiaki. So I'm familiar with Chiaki.
Okay.
Again, because I was...
Sonny Chiaki.
Yeah. Oh, don't you fucking dare. Mirai, the star here.
Mirai's the carryover from Stardom.
Yeah.
In my opinion... the biggest get for Marigold, only because we know Julia was leaving.
Yeah.
Julia is obviously the biggest star, but we know she's leaving. So Mirai is the one to me, and Nene too, but Mirai is the one that brings that legitimacy to Marigold as a Joshi company. Like I think Mirai is the biggest pull from Stardom they got.
I would say for me it's the second biggest pull, but we'll talk more later.
Okay. Did they have somebody else from Stardom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is 11 minutes, and this again they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
lariats left and right.
Mirai has the best lariat in wrestling. Joshi at most, but
for sure,
and top 5 in all of professional wrestling right now.
What did you think of Chiaki?
I thought it was good. I thought this was a really good match.
I did too.
I've never seen Chiaki before. So I don't. You said you've seen her. I wasn't.
Yes,
I wasn't.
I was sent a match.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't aware, but the good, solid, took the beating, gave it back. I enjoyed this match because I was excited to see Mirai. I like Mirai a lot.
Yeah. Mirai felt like such a big deal.
Yeah, for big deal for sure. She got the hair extensions in.
Looking good.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Joshi did commented she dropped some pounds because she's like the powerhouse wrestler.
Yep.
And she's still a bigger lady than a lot of these other Joshi ladies. Not as tall as some of the ladies coming up, but Mirai's awesome. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Next one, Mai Sakurai and Zeta Steel.
Zeta Steel, sure.
Mila Grace and Nagisa Nozaki.
Yeah.
Goes 15 minutes. The less said, the better. This was.
This is the downer match.
It's a draw. The Rossi special.
Both white women, both blonde ladies. They just didn't do it. They weren't good. So then this match never caught a rhythm. When it was Mai Sakurai and Nozaki in the ring together, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But parts were fine. Both blonde ladies stunk.
Yeah.
Not worth it. I would have moved this down the card a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. I put it before Mirai and Chiaki, but
I probably would too.
Yeah.
Next match, another tag match.
Mm-hmm.
Chika Goto
Yes.
and Koki.
Koki. Is it Koki or Kooky?
Kauki.
Yeah.
Kucky.
Does it rhyme with Dookie? The Kooky Chooky?
Yeah, the Kuki Chuki.
The Koki Choki?
They went up against Misa Matsui and Natsumi Shozuki.
Yes.
So the reason why I knew...
Oh, I know who the biggest get for you is now. I see the name. I remember.
Yeah, the reason why I knew Chiaki
Mm-hmm.
was because I was sent a match because our young sweet friend Ed is all in on Kuki.
Oh, okay. All right.
Ed also says, we're done with Stardom. We're Marigold guys now.
Already? Okay.
Yeah, no more.
All right.
Get away.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't subscribe to that, Ed. But also, you're not sending me matches to watch, so I don't have to subscribe to anything.
They put it in Discord.
Oh, was it in the Discord?
Yeah.
I can't. I will never turn my back on a company that employs Mina Shirakawa.
I said the same thing. I go, Mina just gets drunk and kisses people.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going to turn that down?
Right.
But Chika and Koki get the win at 12 minutes, 30 seconds. Also dubbed as the new skyscrapers.
Koki's the Koki Kauki is the standout in this match
Absolutely.
to me.
This isn't a bit, Ed. I legit mean this.
Yeah, she's the fucking standout.
Yeah.
She has like the weird double back suplex throw. I was like, awesome. Yeah, she's the standout. Chika Goto, also very tall. And good. I thought this match was very good. I thought they were all great. I had no familiarity with any of them. And didn't they say it was somebody's like debut or some shit? They kept saying on commentary like something about I don't know what that they were. It was all weird. Yeah, Koki, whatever. She's the standout, and I think it could be a star, could be a talent right there.
Ed, you put your wagon on the right horse.
That's right.
It's Koki Mania is about to take over. So main event time.
Yes,
this is what we're all here.
This is what everyone's here to see.
The team of Julia
and
Utami Hayashishita.
That's the one that's the number one pick for you. That's right.
Yeah. Well, other than Julia.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
Utami is so fucking cool. Going up against Sari.
Yep.
And motherfucking Bozzilla. Brother.
Let's talk.
When I first saw the picture of Bozzilla.
Yeah.
I think I immediately sent it to Doug, and I was like, Doug, you have a new favorite wrestler?
Yeah.
Brother, Bozzilla is 20 years old.
Yes.
Bozzilla is my new favorite wrestler.
Did you know? So my first note is I've deemed her Lady Gunther.
Yeah.
Bozzilla.
She would beat Gunther's ass.
Yes.
Walter might be a different story.
So I looked this up because I wanted to know more about Bozzilla. And I was shocked to learn that she is Ulf Herman's daughter.
Yep.
Tagged with Ulf Herman sometimes still.
Sure does.
And I'm talking full-blooded Italians member, 1998 ECW stalwart Ulf Herman.
Absolutely.
Has trained Bozzilla.
Yeah.
That is his daughter. What a star.
She also trained with Scott D'Amore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
that's funny.
After clips were going online, Josh Alexander was shared. He's like, finally people are going to recognize it.
20 years old.
Yeah.
She gorilla presses Sari and throws her onto the opponents over the top rope. I'm like, what a star. A star is born. We watched it happen in real time. Bozzilla Mania running wild.
That crowd was instantly in love with Bozzilla.
Absolutely.
She does, Julia and Hayashishita go to, double Irish whip her.
Mm-hmm.
She, turns them inside out, reverses it, throws them off the ropes, then hits a double lariat and murders them both. Yep. And I go, yeah, I like you.
Yeah.
You're my new number one.
Bozzilla forever.
Fucking Zilla.
Yeah. So, and that is a match that has 3 other fucking killers in it.
You literally outshined Serene, Julia, and Hayashishita.
So, yeah.
Bozzilla.
Bozzilla forever. Strap her up. Put that white belt on her. Put the pink belt on her. I don't care.
Rossi, I swear to God, if you feed her to NXT, I'm going to kill you.
Right? So, all right. So, Bozzilla rules. But I want to talk about Sari really quick.
Okay.
The Warrior of the Sun.
Yeah.
Do you remember, and I know you do,
of course,
so this is a rhetorical question.
I was thinking this the whole time while watching this match. I already know what you're going to ask.
When she signed to NXT and they were like, we don't know what to do with this woman.
Yep.
What does she have to offer?
Remember when she was cool at first?
Yeah.
And she's like, beating the shit out of, what's her face, Gigi Dolan. Looked awesome.
Yeah.
Then Vince and Brucey come in. NXT 2.0 happens. And they make her like Harry Potter. And she wears that sun emblem. And then she turns a serious. Like,
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
How did you fuck that up?
Right? Because, like, every opportunity in this match, she tries to do a murder on Julia.
Yeah.
Like, every opportunity. And NXT was like, no, she just throws head dump Uranagi's.
Yeah.
And no, we got nothing. We don't know. We could put
nothing.
glasses on her and an emblem. I don't understand. Yeah. We can't figure this lady out. What do we do with her? Absolutely insane. I think she actually was trying to murder people in this match. So I think she was like, oh, Julia, you want to go to NXT and see what they're going to do with you? All right, I'm going to kill you so you don't get the opportunity.
I'm going to fuck you up.
Right? Like, let's see what they do with you in NXT when you don't know how to walk. Like, I'm going to dump you on your head so many times.
Julia ends up breaking her wrist.
On a forearm.
Yeah.
And you could see it happen because she grabs her wrist afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's
and she was going to make her NXT debut in a couple of months.
Well, there was talks. I don't know if it was ever going to be official. Because they did make the match for her and Sari for their July show in Marigold.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Because I know.
But this was before the wrist break thing.
So now, and Hayashi Shida's taking her spot. No, that's on the Hana show.
That was on the Hana show.
That's on the Hana show.
Yesterday, I think.
Did it? Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, that was the Hana show where Hayashi Shida replaced her.
Dude, this goes 28 minutes.
It was crazy good.
Didn't feel like it
crazy good.
All.
Great main event.
Really, smart move putting this on last.
So you get the unknown commodity, if you will, in Bozzilla. But you then have 3 heaters, man.
Yeah, and it's smart because it's like, okay, Julia and Hayashi Shida bringing that Stardom crowd. Sari has been bouncing all over. Sari was just in Stardom against Miley Watani. Sari runs her own produced shows. Now her Marigold. So it's kind of like not the outcast, I want to say, but like I'm not stuck in any promotion.
Yeah.
I'm a freelancer.
Right. So Suzuki's doing that now.
Sure,
Kojima's doing that.
Course.
A lot of people are finding it a better route for them in Japan right now with the state of the companies.
And then you have Bozzilla.
You do have Bozzilla.
Bozzilla is a star already. After the match, the crowd's fucking chanting her name. She gets up on the second rope on the outside, hits the double bicep.
They clearly
crowd goes insane.
So like technical wrestling wise, I think what Sari and Julie were doing obviously was better.
Of course,
but they absolutely purposefully made a star.
Yeah,
and they knew what they were doing. They have the utmost. They have utmost confidence here. They knew they had a physical specimen. Maybe we get Ulf Herman and Marigold.
That's a weird. I don't know. Sentences I never thought I'd hear.
Ulf Herman's he's primed up for a run in Japan, brother.
Sure.
But they make us fucking star here for sure.
Yeah, dude. Bozzilla.
Listen here, brother.
Fucking after the show, Rossi was like,
Bozzilla, dude. Imagine how much money we could have made, brother.
Yeah, made a lot of money, brother. After the show, Rossi does the press conference and he goes, yeah, the MVP of the night was Bozzilla.
Yeah, good.
Boy.
Bozzilla.
Fucking Bozzilla.
All day Bozzilla.
Oh, my God. I need a Bozzilla shirt. I need a Bozzilla trading card, a Bozzilla action figure.
There you go.
A Bozzilla canteen. You know.
Drink your water out of.
I'm a Bozzilian, okay?
You're a
fucking in.
A Bozzilian.
Okay? All in on Bozzilla.
All right.
I don't give a shit that she's standing on the corner, not breaking up pins. Don't care. I don't give a fuck.
No, you gotta work that hard.
She just hold her by the ankle. She's not even reacting.
Right.
What are you doing to me?
Right,
Get out of here. Sure, I stand in the ring out of place when things are happening. Who gives a fuck? Did you see my double bites?
That's right. Oh, listen. Positioning and skill will come with time. You can't teach what she has.
No, you can't.
That's right. A great man once said that.
Yes, with his consensual penis. Fucking God, Bozzilla rocks.
Yes.
All right. Marigold.
Definitely the star of it.
Great first show.
I thought it was a really good first show. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
one stinker. It was really half a stinker. I liked some things in that match, but you brought in the wrong pretty blonde ladies. But I understand Rossi's proclivity to bring in pretty blonde ladies.
Sure. And crowd was extremely on fire the whole show.
Yeah. Hot crowd. really good card.
I think there's some shows upcoming this weekend.
Yeah, with 6 matches, which is really nice. But yeah, they have like 2 back-to-back shows coming up. I'll peruse.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on.
It's gonna be a
with
heavy
the
wrestling
pay-per-view.
weekend, so.
Right. So, we'll get to what we get to, but we're gonna cover Marigold for as long as we fucking can, because this was a good show, and we are blessed with a great era of Joshi.
Absolutely.
The styles are a little different. Sure, Marigold and Stardom are going to be pretty similar.
They'll be the most similar.
Tokyo Joshi Pro has that other angle in there. But yeah, this is Marigold's going to be interesting. I think it's going to open up a lot of eyes to people we don't know, our eyes to people we don't know.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. But and then if Stardom and Tokyo Joshi Pro get pushed a little bit together because of that, and clearly Stardom working with AEW because Rossi is gone. Who knows what Rossi's relationship with NXT is going to be with Marigold. Yeah. But the opportunities are there for Joshi to be shared around the world. Yeah. And I said it before when we started talking about it, I'm having so much fun watching Joshi. It's the most fun wrestling I'm having watching.
I agree.
So,
and I saw that Kyrie and Io sent flowers to the show. Yeah.
To who? To Marigold?
Yeah, that's like the custom thing.
Okay. I figured they'd have Asuka's back and not celebrate Rossi.
No.
So
I still want to see Asuka kick him in the face. Boy, she hates that motherfucker. So what were your favorite matches this week?
Oh man. American is tough, brother. Man. I like so many of the segments. And, I want to make Ed happy and say that it's Dragon versus Satnam because I thought it was a lot of fun.
It could be.
But it's Malachi Kyle. From a wrestling standpoint, it's the best match on American TV that I saw this week. From Japan, God, that's a tough one. That's a fucking tough one.
There's 3 in Japan that really did a lot for me this week.
I can't underexpress the love of Bozzilla. Man, that's tough. I really like. I'm gonna stick to my tag team loving roots. Suzu Suzuki and Mei Sarah versus Natsupoi and Starlight Kid.
Wow. Okay.
I really liked the tag team moves, the innovation. I like Happy Starlight Kid, and so that's where I'm gonna go.
That caught me off guard.
All right, good.
So my favorite from the U.S. I'm going Lyra Valkyria versus Io Shirai.
Okay, nice.
I'm happy that they're giving Io Shirai time on television to really show how fucking good she is.
Yeah.
And Lyra Valkyria, yeah, sure, you're in there with probably, like I said, one of the best in the world. Made you look good. Sure. That's the goal.
Absolutely.
And for Japan, I'm going with Tomohiro Ishii versus
Masaki Kitamiya. I completely forgot.
Done. You're cut.
I completely forgot that happened.
That's why I'm fucking shocked.
Dude,
I'm shocked.
When I was just looking through the matches, I was like, oh, what's my favorite? And I scanned my notes. Here's what happened.
Sir.
I'm going to edit this out to make myself sound better because I can do that. So here's what happened. I'll show it to you. So when you asked me that, I go back through my notes, right? So what I've done on my notes to make it easier is I have a permanent spot with all the promotions.
Sure.
And I was like, all right, what did we watch in Japan? And I went, oh, okay, we're done. Huh, okay. And I didn't go down far enough to Noah. But it's not that one. It's Suzuki Keno.
Wow.
I like Suzuki Keno more.
All right.
For whatever reason, I was like, we only watched Joshi this week because I'm a fucking idiot. No, Keno Suzuki. Yeah, Keno Suzuki all day.
Fuck yeah. I was shocked.
I swear to God, I feel like such a fucking idiot. I did not scroll down far enough.
I almost passed out.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I did not scroll down far enough. What an idiot I am.
No, you're not an idiot.
I'm amending my list. Thank you for allowing that.
Sure.
It's Kano Suzuki, yeah.
Okay.
I loved Ishii, Kitamiya, of course. I'll watch it all the time. I think the match from January 2nd was better.
This was Suzuki hitting a different level you haven't seen in a while.
It's so refreshing, and just the look, the bloody, just insane.
He's an insane
Absolutely
human being.
insane. So there you go.
All right.
I apologize for my transgressions.
Real quick, did you buy anything? Wrestling related?
No,
me neither.
I did hold the new Buddy Matthews in my hands at our Walmart, but I didn't buy it.
It's not big enough.
Right.
All right, well, before we get out of here, we do have a 2-part question.
이제 이번 주에 에드 코디 질문입니다.
All right, so young Ed, what? He's infiltrating everything.
I found why it's repeating, and I'm trying to turn it off.
Well, this is the third time you played it.
Stop it! I've turned the volume down. Shut up.
All right. So Ed has a 2-part question.
Yes.
2-part question for the show. 1, there's some talk of $5 wrestling this week. LOL, he's just joking.
Okay.
Because we're not going to talk about it 3 weeks in a row.
All right.
Even though I did say smooth belly before. Number 1. I heard someone say on a podcast this week, Chono was Eddie Kingston's favorite wrestler until he saw 90s All Japan. So just curious, who was your first favorite when you really got into what I call deep nerd wrestling? Indies, Japan, Lucha, the stuff you had to do, work to seek out. Mine was CM Punk. He's a great guy and possibly the best to ever do it. And I agree 1,000%. Phil, we love him.
Okay.
We love him forever.
All right.
The Felicia will never die. Unless he goes and works a Saudi show, then I'm out. That's just a fact for me.
Okay.
You can clip it, whatever.
All right.
He works a Saudi show, I'm out.
Stuff.
He ain't working the Saudi show this weekend.
That's good. Yeah. What if he just gets hurt like right before every Saudi show? He just gets hurt, so he never has to work.
I'd say
one.
He knows what he's doing.
I'll say this, and I'm not
can't work a worker.
I'm not trying to be mean. I said, but what would the what the irony would be? Because Phil, one of his biggest gripes was that he wanted to wrestle. Sure. He wanted to main event at WrestleMania. He never got to. Right. What if the opportunity comes, but it's Saudi Mania? Like, what if they agree to wrestle this Mania in Saudi, and that's the one where Phil made? Do you think he'll even do it? Do you know what I mean?
I truthfully don't know.
It's an interesting thing that, like, he comes back in the company, he's hurt, and he's going to be positioned top of the card around the same time they're trying to negotiate a Saudi WrestleMania. Yeah. I don't know if it'll ever happen, and if it does, it'll be a couple of years off, and who knows if Phil has a couple of years in him. You know,
that's a legit question.
So, yeah. but all right.
So for me,
yes.
If I'm going to say, like, I'll categorize it because he does mention a couple different things. Indies, first one that really hooked me was Bryan Danielson.
Okay.
I just remember seeing him wrestle and going, damn, this guy wears like William Regal's colors, you know? I want to see more of him. He's really good. That's the first one that really hooked me on indie stuff. And then obviously, you know, I find CM Punk, Samoa Joe, the whole Ring of Honor, everybody knows. The other one was Japan, but it wasn't through Japan, it was through WCW, was Great Muta. Okay. And I talk about it all the time. It's my favorite wrestler of all time. Doesn't necessarily mean he's the best of all time.
Right.
I don't think he's the best of all time, but he is my absolute favorite of all time.
Right.
Seeing that was so unique as a kid. You know, I remember getting like a VHS, like Best of Halloween Havoc bullshit tape, and the Havoc 89 Thunderdome match is on there.
Yeah.
You know, him and Funk versus Flair and
Stinger,
yeah. And I remember like just being fascinated with like, who the fuck is this guy, you know? Because like mid-90s, like early mid-90s, he's kind of out of WCW. He's just over in Japan. But then he comes back towards the end of WCW with the Dark Carnival stuff and joining the NWO. And that was a guy that just hooked me, man. And I remember like finally getting the internet and going like, oh, Great Mood, and downloading like a match off of fucking Kazaa or some shit. Right. I think it was him versus Chono I downloaded. And I was like, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah. He
is my favorite. And he's been my favorite ever since. I'm going to be 35 in a couple months, and he is still my favorite of all time.
Absolutely.
So that's the one that like really like hooked me, were Danielson and Muta.
Okay. So, not to be repetitive, but the first indie guy that I ever felt that changed, that was like, what the wrestling could be, this is Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Going to the early Ring of Honor in 03, 04 and seeing him, he immediately became my favorite wrestler. I talk about like being out of wrestling around that time. I went to college in 2002, didn't have TV, didn't really watch. WCW guy, that folds, all that kind of stuff. But he was the first guy that I saw in the indies, and he immediately became my favorite guy. He remains in my top 5 of all time. He remains probably the one of, if not the greatest in-ring wrestler I've ever seen. There's one dude in-ring talent-wise that can beat him, and it's Bret Hart. Like, that's it.
Sure.
That's it. Again, Terry Funk's my favorite all time. I think well-rounded wrestlers, Terry Funk's the best of all time. But in-ring, Danielson and Bret Hart. I don't think there's anybody better.
And I would say that too, like, Bret Hart was like my guy as a kid. Obviously, same name, you know, and I love Bret Hart, but like, it's not like, it's like the deep shit,
right? So it's definitely Dragon for me from Ring of Honor. I think that's for a lot of people. And Ring of Honor opened my eyes to a lot of people. Paul London, AJ Styles, like all those guys. But I felt immediately attached to Dragon, and I've never really not been.
Yeah, I agree.
Seeing him live and just being like, what the fuck is going, like, who is this dude?
So,
immediately amazing.
There's a fun story. So this is when he's in WWE, and it's at the arena, and it's a SmackDown taping, and my brother was lower level, and I was upper level. I was like first row upper level. And Danielson cashes in the Money in the Bank and wins the world title. Yeah. And it gets reversed or whatever. My brother-in-law said, he goes, when that happened, he goes, I looked up to where you were, and he goes, I thought you were about ready to jump out of the second level. He goes, you were jumping up and down. I go, that's my fucking guy.
It's the guy. Yep.
I was like, that's been my guy forever.
Yep. Absolutely.
I fucking love Bryan Danielson.
And obviously ECW, we were exposed to a lot of people, like around the right age for all this stuff to happen.
Sure, yeah.
And like I remember going to a Chikara show one of the first or second Chikara shows and thinking like, oh, this is a crazy cool indie, because before that, the indies around here were on a skating rink with Honky Tonk Man or whatever. Like, it wasn't really, you weren't seeing anybody great. As far as like deep cut sort of foreign stars, Japanese stars, and again, this is exposure through WCW, which I thought we were going to have the exact same answer, and I was going to be like, holy shit. But the first guy to really pique my interest that then
Silver King.
When he became Gold King. Like, obviously All Japan, and but that's not, these guys came a little later to me, right? While I was able to watch it sort of the tail end of it still happening, it wasn't until the little later part of the 90s that I really got into those guys and found those guys. And there's the deathmatch guys we're looking for Terry Funk and finding those guys. But the guy for me that hooked me, that I saw on American TV, that then was like, where else can I see it? Which then brings me to War and New Japan and all that, was Ultimo Dragon.
Sure.
Ultimo Dragon's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But like when you see Ultimo Dragon on WCW and he has 10 fucking belts, and you're like,
you go, wow, this guy's the champion of everything.
And then you're able to go and see his matches in War against Ray and Jericho.
Yep.
And Gran Hamada and just like all these other, and Sasuke's got the 10 belts later and like all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
Ultimo Dragon was one of the guys that opened up that style of Japanese wrestling for me. And then that becomes seeing All Japan and New Japan. And obviously we knew Muda and all that, but like, we didn't have the access to that stuff until the mid 90s. So like that, like Ultimo was for me, I think, the linchpin to that era or that genre of wrestling that opened up like, what's Michinoku Pro? And then like, cause then you're also, the other thing, and this is another interesting point, I think that is not quite what Ed asked, but also works, is WCW versus the World for the PlayStation, because who's this guy?
That's actually that's a great point.
What's this guy?
Yeah.
Black Belt's cool. Who's he? Who's Bad Blood?
Who's Bad Blood?
Or you go, oh, Bad Blood, that's Muda. That's supposed to be Muda. Or you go, okay, well, what's this? Who's this? Who's Powder Keg? Who's Puteka? Sure. Who's Abisba? And then you find out, like we had access to that kind of stuff too. And then the Nintendo 64 games advanced that and so on and so forth. But Ultimo was the guy who I felt at the time was the easiest to branch out into other things, because he was on WCW TV and they would play stuff sometimes. And then you'd be able to, in the burgeoning days of the internet, you'd be able to find some stuff.
Sure.
And I remember making music videos in like video edit on my computer
AMV,
to Ultimo Dragon matches in War against Jericho. I made one specifically to Dig Up Her Bones by the Misfits. And so that's definitely my dude, and still is one of my dudes. Both of those guys are still top guys for me all time. So
same
for you. Like
Yeah,
it's just
same.
what it is. And then I guess that then opens my world to all Japan, which I then become obsessed with.
Yeah.
But I'm also still very obsessed with War. I still think War is such an underrepresented, partially because Tenryu, bad businessman, but really fascinating wrestling. That doesn't get the
War has one of my favorite Muda matches in Tenryu, where they try to fucking kill each other.
Well, and then you can open up, and then that that's what opens the whole world, right?
Sure.
Because then you're like, okay, well, Ultimo's wrestling this guy or whatever, and you're like, well, who's this guy with the mask and the white pants in what's FMW? And it just like Ultimo's connections to Mexico, Japan, and America made him the easiest to sort of open up into that whole world.
With
that. That'll forever be my dude. And there's still, Matt Cardona can try and replicate this all he wants. There are fewer, cooler, more impressive wrestling photographs than Ultimo Dragon with his arms spread and all those belts.
Yep.
One of the only ones that I think goes harder is Keiji Muto bald with the Triple Crown strapped in the X over his chest. One of the coolest fucking pictures ever.
It's so badass. It's so badass.
Yeah. So
I need a poster of that on my wall.
There you go.
Second part of Ed's question.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Man over there.
Me?
Yeah.
Why me?
Trying to stir shit up already.
Okay.
In the Discord when Ed asked the question.
What'd I do?
Do you think any cover songs are better than the originals? I love the Misfits a lot. My dog is named after a member. Yes, Ed, we know who the fuck Doyle is.
Yes.
But My Chemical Romance's cover of Astro Zombies might be better than the original.
Okay.
Wrong.
Yeah, incorrect.
AFI's cover of Just Like Heaven from some MTV special is better than The Cure's.
I was surprised at a lot of people not liking The Cure in the Discord.
That was shocking.
It's very weird.
Very surprising. And I remember the Deftones doing a pretty dope cover of If Only Tonight We Could Sleep on the same special. Possibly the only Deftones song I like. Wrong about that, Ed. Deftones have fucking bangers.
Yes.
Lots of bangers.
Mm-hmm.
I love the majority of their discography.
Okay.
Don't listen to Saturday Night Wrist.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
Okay.
And the one with all the pelicans on the front. I forget the name of that. That record's also really bad.
Yeah.
So.
Uh-huh. I'm not going to bring it
DJ.
up. I'm not going to bring it up.
Since you're trying to assume, oh, Brett's getting hot already.
I'm not going to bring it up because I'll tell you what, though. I did talk to Todd on Tuesday because he asked about it, and Todd is going to listen to both versions and pick his favorite of the two. And also, I'm alone on the mountain on this because Michelle yelled at me about this.
That's because she's the better
So
half.
I'll say it. Fine, I'll say it because we never actually hot at each other.
No.
But Erotic City, Prince's Erotic City, the cover by Parliament, I think is better. I've been called names. I've been shouted down. I've been shamed. I've been threatened.
Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think I ever did that shit.
I've been threatened with
I'm going to
physical.
wake her up and give her a hug right now. Thank you, Michelle.
I've been threatened with physical violence.
Yeah.
I think Parliament's version of Erotic City is better. And I learned that Prince wrote it after seeing Parliament. I didn't know that.
Did, yes.
They're both great songs. I'm not saying that Prince's version is not great. I just happen to like Parliament's better. And this is, and again, not that we're ever legitimately heated with each other, but this is one of our more long-standing
disagreements. It's a
disagreements.
friendly disagreement.
Yeah, that's all it is.
You know, you're allowed to be wrong. It's okay. Yeah, that's usually what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Listen, you saw me at one of my most heated moments in your car when on your old iPod when there was Prince's Greatest Hits. Erotic City wasn't on there.
Not on there.
I flipped the fuck out.
You sure did.
Then I remember going to that one haunted house one time and I was real mad because it wasn't on there again.
Yeah.
But I love Erotic City. Okay. Cover songs better than the originals.
Yeah.
So Ed, I know you mentioned AFI here. I don't know if you know this about me. I'm a massive AFI head.
Right.
An AFI apologist, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I think their version...
I know where you're going, and my heart's starting to race already.
Okay. I think their version of Halloween...
Oh, brother.
So listen,
that is a tough... I can't disagree with you.
My eyes were open to this.
Yeah.
By my boy Shane, was in California years ago.
Uh-huh.
And we were driving around, and I was very staunch. I'm like, I was like, I was very staunch of like, no, Misfits version of Halloween is better. And he goes, it's not, and I'll tell you why. And he broke it down for me, and then we listened to both back to back, and I go, Shane, I think you're right. Misfits, Halloween, listen, it's one of the key staples I understand.
Sure.
AFI does it better.
I mean, I deeply want to disagree with you, but I don't know that I can.
I know. So here's the thing. I was I was kind of thinking about AFI doing Demonomania.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the Misfits version's better.
Halloween is definitely the best Misfits cover anybody has done.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they do it better.
Okay. I'm not going to argue.
You know, there's a couple like other contemporary ones like, you know, Twitching Tongues doing Suck My Dick by Carnivore. I think sometimes that might be better.
Okay.
Even Twitching Tongues doing Gravitational Constant by Typo is like,
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh, brother. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I remember that's what hooked Doug to them.
Yeah. Because I don't like his voice. So
okay,
like that's what holds me back from Twitching Tongues is that I don't really like Bo's voice. No, Colin's voice.
Yeah. That's the thing that holds a lot of people back.
Yeah, I don't love his voice. I love the dude. I think he's a great dude. His voice doesn't quite do it for me, but
see, that's why I like him. It's so like it's like off key.
Yeah.
I don't know why it works for me. They've also covered Candlemass at the Gallows End. Yeah, they covered Suck My Dick by Carnivore. Covered what the fuck. Whatever. I know they covered a Pentagram song. You're gonna be my queen. So yeah, that's my pick. AFI Demonomania, or no, AFI Halloween.
All right.
I think that is. I'm not gonna say far superior. I think they do it better.
Okay.
I think Davey just I don't know. He harmonizes it better.
It rips more than the Misfits version does. The Misfits version is a little slower, meant to be a little more haunting.
Yeah.
And the AFI version is like you're being run down by someone. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have a few. So initially, this is like old school, and like it's almost not fair because the cover is the more recognizable version. But Respect by Aretha Franklin's a cover. And it's by Otis Redding, who like the original, who I absolutely fucking love. But Aretha's version is wildly better.
Respect is like
it's
one of the best songs,
and it's
ever.
A lot of people don't even realize it's a cover because she did it so well. But more contemporary, I think when you realize that Nirvana Unplugged is Nirvana covering mostly Dinosaur Jr. songs, right? Is it Dinosaur Jr.?
Is it, or is it even doing like
Mudhoney and
Man Who Sold the World?
Yeah, that's the best. I'm a giant David Bowie mark. That's the best version of Man Who Sold the World. Like that, it makes me cry. It's so good. Bowie is horrible in comparison.
Even them doing the old In the Pines.
Yeah, like most of so Kurt, if you know the story, Cobain didn't want to do Nirvana songs on that, so he just covered other grunge bands, and most of those versions are better than the original versions. Other than that, I will give a shout out to Typo, and again, it's hard because I just like the version of music better. But Cinnamon Girl, I think, is a better version because I just prefer that metal version.
Howard Stern loved that. He had them on the show to do that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I will also happily, unironically shout out Slapshot covering the Smiths. I just think it's just the better Big Mouth Strikes Again is just and I love the Smiths, right? And I hate Morrissey. I love the Smiths, which is the appropriate way to take all that. But I don't hold Morrissey against the Smiths. But what Slapshot does with that cover is just wild to me.
It's crazy.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. And like they take a song that like should not work, and as a hardcore song with a guy like Choke's voice.
Yeah.
And it fucking works.
Have you ever heard them cover White Rabbit?
Yes.
Okay.
Also insane. And that's another one too.
Wild.
The Damned cover White Rabbit on Machine Gun Etiquette, and it's awesome. But yeah, like just the reason why Slapshot's version I love is because it shouldn't fucking work.
Yeah.
There's nobody should ever be able to write that down and say that that's going to work. So listen, and just listen to Slapshot.
Yeah, do that too.
Listen to more Slapshot, everyone.
Listen to the Boss Tones cover in Slapshot. What's at stake? That's another one that's fucking weird.
And there's a ton of other ones, that are all out there.
Disgrace covering Desperate Cry by Sepultura. I may have been listening to that on
Right.
the way up here.
Another one that shouldn't work, that isn't better, but still works really well that you should listen to is Sheer Terror covering Boys Don't Cry.
Oh, absolutely.
It fucking works.
Yeah.
It's not better than the original, but it works on such a different level.
Yeah.
And then there's just so many like other like old songs that are shitty, like that aren't the style that not shitty, but not the style I like that are then covered.
Sure.
But so there's a lot out there, but I think that's a pretty good little
X doing Wild Thing?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, it's fine for entrance music, but it's not better otherwise.
All right.
But,
well, that's it. Ed, thank you so much.
Yep.
You're the best. Have fun at wherever you're going. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend, buddy.
Yeah. Harassing people in Colossal Con Discord, like that's not going to come back to bite him in the ass.
He's the best.
He gives 0 fucks for real.
Love him. That was it.
That's it. That's the end of the show. We're done.
Yeah.
That's it. We're out of here.
Yeah.
That's it. Done over with. Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been We Need Wrestling. You can find us online at WeNeedWrestling.com. You can email the show at WeNeedWrestling@gmail.com. If you have a cover song you want us to listen to, oh shit. Popped in my brain.
Uh-oh.
Biohazard's cover of We're All Gonna Die from Our Own Arrogance of Bad Religion.
It's better.
It's such a better fucking cover.
I agree with that.
Such a better cover. And Anthrax's cover of Joe Jackson's Got the Time.
Yep. I also agree with that.
So much better. Anyway, sorry. We could do an entire show on this shit. But
Judge when the levee breaks.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, we need wrestling at gmail.com. Send us your link to your favorite cover song. Email the show there at We Need Wrestling on social media. And we are proud members of the soon to be named network at STBN Network on Twitter, soon to be named network.tumblr.com for all the other shows, including, like we mentioned before, Final Wrestling Place, At Odds with Wrestling, Longbox Heroes After Dark, our other show, Wings on Wings. Go listen to a certain piece of last week's episode. Really just a little clip that you need to listen to. It's fantastic. Shout out Big Tates over there on Wings on Wings.
My dear sweet Tatum.
And Profane Argument, Puzzle Warriors 3. Check all that out and give shout outs to all the homies. And we got a pay-per-view coming up this week.
Yeah.
So
I hope everybody enjoys Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't watch King Queen of the Ring. Because fuck that shit.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerd!